This must be the most romantic setting
ever created.
I've had so far in the podcast.
Yeah.
Elias Marginean.
Samuel Plasencia.
Better than last time?
Better than last time.
Man, you know what I was thinking about like 5 minutes ago?
Mm.
Why Arabs, their culture, you have to like clean your hands and your feet? Or is it something more to...
It's before praying, I think. That's something every Muslim, I think, has to do.
Yeah, Muslim.
I think this is called duhur. I know because I'm from Malmo. Basically, duhur is like cleaning your body before praying. And you have to... I think it's called this or something else. Anyway, yeah. But
Do you know why they do it?
I think it's just a commandment from their prophet or something.
Man, we have to use this.
We have to use this. It's a commandment before praying.
Why do Muslims clean their hands and their feet before praying?
Yeah, absolutely. So in Islam, the practice is called wudu or
Wudu.
ablution, and it's basically a way to ensure physical and spiritual cleanliness before prayer. It helps Muslims feel purified and focused, and it's also a symbolic gesture of respect and mindfulness before connecting with God.
Does it have anything to do with hygiene? Being
Yeah.
clean in the feet and the hands?
Exactly. It does have a hygienic aspect as well. Beyond the spiritual dimension, washing hands, face, and feet also helps maintain cleanliness and reduce the spread of germs. So it's kind of a blend of both physical and spiritual cleanliness.
But the feet though, didn't like... How many years did we go barefoot overall?
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah. And also in the culture, apparently, like the fact that they were so hygienic, because Arabs back in the day, they were very hygienic compared to other people. And apparently that's also a reason why Islam spread the way it did, because they were like, the people took care of themselves and they didn't get as many diseases. And people were saying like, that's God's protection over the Muslim people. That was also a way of Muslims basically like, convincing people that their God is the true one. And it's interesting, like just something that I think it was Marie Curie in the future, like I don't know where it was, but she was basically a scientist, the science woman, who said like maybe you should wash your hands before operating on someone.
Yeah. No, it wasn't her, it was...
Yeah, the guy.
And he got like really... I remember this. He got like so... They looked so bad at him for doing it.
Yeah.
It was like...
He thought they thought he was the craziest person ever who suggested...
We have to ask. We have to
ask.
What happened... Okay. What happened with the man that came up with the idea of cleaning your hands before operating or doing a surgery?
Oh, you're probably thinking of Ignaz Semmelweis. He was a 19th century physician who discovered that hand hygiene could drastically reduce the incidence of infections after childbirth and surgeries. Unfortunately, he faced a lot of resistance and skepticism at the time, but eventually his ideas paved the way for modern antiseptic procedures and the importance of hand washing in medicine.
How exactly did they respond to that idea in the beginning?
Yeah, so initially Semmelweis's peers were really resistant. They didn't believe that doctors' hand cleanliness could impact patient outcomes. Some even mocked him or dismissed his findings, and it actually led to a lot of professional conflict. It took many years and the eventual acceptance of germ theory for his ideas to be validated and widely adopted.
Man, that's crazy. But what I think about with that is like us humans too. I remember studying African culture, I don't remember which country, and they had these techniques. And before, if you look more like...
Yeah, absolutely.
Man!
Cultures have developed their own traditions and techniques around cleanliness and health.
She just wants to talk, she just wants to also be involved.
She wants to be the main character, but hey, calm down. That's crazy.
What were you saying?
I was saying that they were a tribe where to improve their immune system, they did like small cuts in their stomach. Yeah. So it got like a bit, not infected, but it opened up to a lot of bacteria. They even took the mango leaf, the like oil coming out from it, or the milk, I don't know how it's called, and like cured it so it didn't get too much infected. But the idea was letting a bit of bacteria in so it could get a better immune system. I think a lot of cultures, like more primitive maybe, have had these like inventions to survive. Yeah. So always you're like back and forth with being clean, of course, but also like create an immune system that can battle those bacteria. No?
Yeah, because I think when you look at the body, the human body, it's just an incredible way of adapting to bacteria is just amazing. That's basically how we build our immune systems. That's why you should let your children play in dirt. Because they get better immune systems. And that's true. Because just imagine all the germs, your body gets used to the germs, and then when you meet them in your future life, you don't get affected by them in the same way because the body has adapted. And that's also, I saw someone that did with the snake venom. Take small doses of snake venom in your body.
Heard of it.
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
Yeah, and now he's immune to the bite of the snake. And that snake, I don't know, it's the black cobra or something like this, is like the most venomous snake in the world. One drop is supposed to kill 20 adults, and he can take a whole bite without dying. We just show how our body works. It's crazy.
Isn't that this is very very in now and very conspiracy oriented.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue, but isn't that like the main thing with vaccines?
Yeah.
That they I know it's a crazy topic right now, vaccines, but they argue that that's the way. You put a little bit of dose of the bacteria, and then so your body can defend it.
You know who was the inventor of the first vaccine?
Was it something related to the cow?
Yeah, exactly. Cowpox. It was Edward Jenner, I think his name is. I know because I did a study of him back in school. And he saw that people that got, I don't know if it was cowpox or chickenpox or something like this, didn't get smallpox. And smallpox was the one of the deadliest things. I don't know if I'm saying the things right. Maybe it's the other one that's the dangerous one. But basically, when someone got one disease, when they got the other disease, they didn't get as affected. And he understood that basically, okay, so they have to have the same components in order for the body to know, okay, I fought it off this way, this disease, so I'm gonna fight it this way, this disease.
So he recognized it.
Yeah, it was he recognized that the body used similar tactics, basically. And yeah, that's basically how the first vaccine was invented. He said people should get this disease so that they don't have to get that disease later. So people were getting the disease basically as a vaccine. And it's really interesting because it was just small observations, small observations, how far they can actually reach, because he just looked at a small thing people that get this disease don't get that disease. Maybe there is something to it, some correlation.
And culturally too, because now it's more globalized. You rarely have a disease in Spain that you don't have here in Sweden or Norway.
Yeah.
But before, the disease and infection, and the disease mainly, when the Spanish went to America, people think, no, they just killed them. Yeah, you could argue they killed them, but the disease, and the perfect example, I think I've been talking about this in quite a few episodes, but when the Francisco Orellana, for example, and this wasn't his purpose, he was I think he was hunting or something.
Yeah.
But he ended up going down the Amazon River, and he documented seeing big civilizations, armies of women, everything. and it got like, when he came back, it was like tales, you know. They didn't believe it. But 100 years later, the Spanish conquistadors or exploradors went there back, and they didn't see anything. And the like explanation is that the disease killed everything.
Yeah.
And that's so curious for me. The ancient stuff that were and is and got eaten by the jungle there in the Amazon. How did the people? Because when people think about ancient America, they think about the Aztecs, the Mayans.
Yeah.
But I think those are not like so far away from our time, you know. They were like, I mean, Hernan Cortés, when he went there, he met them, you know, and it's like in our timeline in some way. But I'm talking about before, like, who knows how much time. And that's the thing with Amazon also, it's like, it's farmed. You know, the soil there?
Yeah.
It's called terra preta.
Okay.
Terra preta, I know preta because in jiu-jitsu, faisa preta is black belt.
Yeah.
So it's black dirt. And I've seen this, I mean, I'm obsessed with Graham Hancock, and he talks about this Amazon thing being so, like, curious because it's man-made soil.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And that makes you think that there were people there that were like touching and inventing. And now that I'm talking about it, he mentioned like venom they had to create to kill the monkeys. Because one thing is to like shoot at the monkey, and the monkey, like, his reflex is to grab or something, and it stays in the tree. But with this venom, the indigenous people there killed it, and they like the muscles did the muscles, so they didn't can like take a branch or something. But the thing is, for that venom to be made, it needed a mix of 11 plants.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so many like details, like the Brazilian nut too. Like that organically doesn't bring, like, how do you say it? It doesn't come up and harvest in that amount that we see. You know, so you see some examples of there being
interventions.
Interventions.
Like the man has made things, has changed the course of history and nature and culture and everything. And it's really interesting because you mentioned this place and this time of the world where basically societies collided. The European society collided with the American native Aztec society. And it's really interesting because we don't have this today anymore.
No.
With globalism, everything is available. I can be
I mean, there is this indigenous...
Of course.
Protected.
Yeah.
But they are protected, we know they are there.
North Sentinel Island, I think it's called. Something like this in Indonesia or whatever. It's like the societies where it's not touched and people...
This island...
Yeah.
And there were like another island that... It was like the Snake Island?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. But as I say, it's like societies, and it's really interesting because we look at how these societies collided. Like, just imagine being a Native American and just seeing big ships you've never seen before coming in, and then a white man, like they call them pale faces because they were white and they were more brown. And then it's just somehow they found ways to communicate, because before all the like fighting started, they were communicating and negotiating, you know.
The thing was, there were like common interests.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the Aztecs or the Mayans. I don't remember now. I should.
Yeah.
But there were like, I think it was the Aztecs, were this huge place, and that's another thing that talks about how politically better a society is like organized. Because when it's one big place, it's easy to conquer. In the sense of you conquered the city, you have conquered everything.
Yeah.
But if it's a lot of small places, you have to conquer
everyone. Yeah.
But the thing was, when like the Spaniards came, they were like 400.
Yeah.
It's impossible to conquer how many Aztecs were
Yeah,
there?
yeah, yeah.
Man,
Many
maybe
more. Yeah, yeah.
millions. I don't know if
I don't know
millions.
if it's really millions because
Man, we need to.
I heard
know how many.
somewhere like it was like basically a debate on a podcast, and a girl said that the Europeans killed millions of Native Americans, and when they
I
googled,
wouldn't say millions.
it was like
I said millions.
they killed like 50,000 people or something
Let's
like
ask,
this,
let's
which is still a lot, but it's not millions.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
How many were there when the Spaniards came to South America and started conquering? How many were there? So how many Spaniards were there? 400, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty famous example. When Hernan Cortez arrived in the Aztec Empire, for instance, he had just a few hundred men, like around 500 or so, and that really stands out as a small number compared to the massive populations of the indigenous empires. It's definitely one of those historical facts that stands
How
out.
many? How much like is it seen as the Aztec Empire were? How many people?
Yeah, estimates of the Aztec Empire's population vary, but generally it's believed that the Central Valley of Mexico, including the capital Tenochtitlan, had maybe around 200,000 to 300,000
Wow.
people, and the entire empire might have been home to several million people, possibly up to 15 million at its height. It was definitely a huge...
50 million, so you were on the right track.
Man, 50 million. The thing was like Hernan Cortez wasn't stupid, you know.
No.
They had like because everybody thinks that the Spaniards came and they were living like in harmony. Everybody in South America like giving gifts to each other. They were killing each other.
They were
constantly.
eating each other, man. They were eating each other. They were cannibals. They didn't have the moral compass of not eating each other. I don't know about like the Aztecs or the Mayans, but I know the Indians in North America, they were eating each other. They were cannibals. When if I was an Indian, if I was, I don't know what they call, but they were different tribes. When I took over you, I was eating you after.
Man, the rain god. What's the name of? What was the name of the rain god?
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
What?
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
What was the name of the rain god?
The ruler of the Aztec Empire at the time of the Spanish conquest was Moctezuma II.
What?
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo
What
estás?
was the name of the rain god in the Aztec Empire or the Mayan?
Yeah, for the Aztecs, the rain god was Tlaloc.
Tlaloc. Man, you know what they did to like serve him or adore him?
What?
They had this tradition like once a month or once a year.
Yeah.
I would believe once a month. They sacrificed a baby.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. They were savages.
They were savages.
They were really.
You can't like. We don't know. We weren't there.
Yeah.
And God knows what they were doing or with what end and what they have, their beliefs and their ancestors.
Yeah.
There's so many things.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. What we're talking about. They were killing each other. They were tribes, you know. And Hernan Cortez, like, used that as a military advantage. He got like allied because the thing is, the enemy of my enemy.
He's my friend.
My friend.
Yeah.
So he used that as a military strategy.
Yeah.
And he like buckled up the boys, Aztecs.
That's crazy.
That's so crazy. Man.
That's crazy.
There's a phrase that we came too late to conquer the world and too early to conquer the universe.
Yeah. We're exactly in between.
We're exactly in between.
It's true.
And we ended up in a fish factory.
Exactly. In the North Pole.
Brother, our ancestors.
Yeah.
Like us, you have like more maybe Middle Eastern DNA roots.
Yeah.
I have a bit Viking, a bit from like how Guanche I would say, but maybe mainland Spain. Who knows?
Yeah.
Man, those times are like ancestors At our age?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man, at our age we were like... I had 17 wars already.
We've had like also three children who died or something like this. Like,
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, probably they were farmers.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
99% of them.
Yeah.
But maybe the thing is also, they had to survive.
Yeah.
The wars.
Yeah.
So maybe we can think of them as like, they were warriors and good warriors. I mean,
who knows?
I say again, probably farmers.
Yeah, probably farmers.
Probably warrior and taking potatoes, but who knows?
Who knows? And that's the thing, because if you go just more up in your family tree, you're just gonna have like 1,000, then 2,000 ancestors, and the step after 4,000, and just more and more and more ancestors, and it just goes so like it's impossible to not have something royal or something special in your blood. And I'm just thinking, because I don't know if I mentioned this, you know it, but as you said, I have more like, my ancestors probably came from India because I'm a gypsy, and they came from India, and I'm just thinking like, who, they were so motivated on going somewhere. Like, they started in the north of India, a group of people, and they were just migrating through the world basically, and like, I'm just thinking of all the hard things that happened on the way, and how every single one of them probably should have been dead, but because one of them survived, I'm here today.
Imagine those stories, like, in the breach of dying or living, and they lived.
Yeah. Or like, just the fact that someone fell in love with the person they saw once, and that love.
Yeah, the love stories too are
the
crazy.
Love stories for me. Someone said, if you look at your face, that's so many love stories. That's not told.
That's true. I haven't heard that.
If you look at your face, this is a story like of all your ancestors falling in love, or maybe there was arranged marriages. Who knows? But I'm just saying, like, there's so many people that loved each other in order for you to be here today, and it's so beautiful when you think about it.
It is.
Actually.
I mean, that's the thing that always have been through history.
Yeah.
There's only one thing. I don't care what culture you are, how long back you were. The fact that we are alive now means that people have to love each other.
Yeah, or at least have intercourse.
Yeah, man, wouldn't you argue like there had to be some love?
Of course. But I think also, if you look back in time, many marriages were arranged, and also I'm from a culture where arranged marriages were more common than anything. Like 90% of all marriages were arranged marriages. So my ancestors were arranged, but I'm sure there was like ancestors who really loved each other, and I think that's just a beautiful thought. Like, if there wouldn't be their love, I wouldn't be here today. And I can just look at my parents. If my parents wouldn't have loved each other, I wouldn't be here. But if their parents wouldn't have loved each other, they wouldn't have been there. So it's just you just go up, and it's like, man, so many people have loved each other, and I'm
What's
here today.
the explanation behind arranging marriages?
I think it's this was something that was practiced in all cultures, also in Europe, also in Africa, also in Asia, because it was usually like. Also royalties, like...
Yeah, I mean, kings and those kind of stuff, I understand. Yeah. Because it's power.
Yeah.
But like...
But the same mentality, I think, goes for everyone. Like, if we say, I want to ally my family with your family, the best type of alliance... Yeah, survival, of course. But I think the best type of alliance is alliance by blood. So if your son and my daughter were to get married, that's a bond we can't break, because they have children and their ancestors, and that's something that will unite us forever. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because, of course, I'm not supporting arranged marriages, but I think marriages had like more of a purpose than just love. They were not based only on love. I think they were based on something that's, how can I say this, like more important. Like, people saw this kind of thing, like, if I was living 100, 200, 400 years ago, maybe I wouldn't get married for love. Maybe I would get married so my parents wouldn't die of hunger.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And that's something that's a huge sacrifice. But if you have to do it, you have to do it. You know.
I mean, maybe they still do it. I wouldn't believe they didn't say do it. And I think it was like in Senegal, they like sell your daughter or sell your son.
Yeah.
I mean, your daughter, you can sell it, and your son, you can sell it to like a priest or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Reality.
That's crazy.
The thing with the arranged marriages, I think like I could understand because your father wants the best for you and know about the family and you're young.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing for me is when you start marrying underage.
Yeah.
Like underage girls.
Yeah.
Those kind of stuff. That's.
Yeah. That of course I don't support that. But
displaying me through culture, man. But man.
You know, I think just the world just looked so different back then. And just imagine something that's so common back then. I don't think people really thought about it as being something immoral.
It was like so normalized.
It was so normalized. And you know what makes me think? It makes me think like, in 100 years, what are we doing today that will be seen as crazy for them, you know? Because we look at arranged marriages as something so immoral. But what will be the same immoral thing that...
Yeah, man, I've been thinking about it. Because now we think, now it's like perfect, everything.
Yeah.
But I try to think, man, in like 20 years, what's something I would look back to and said, man,
that's crazy.
How could we do this?
I think.
But I never came up with an example, man.
I think one thing that all people will realize at one point is like everything that's not for the real greater good is a waste of time. I think that's also like a big thing. That big thing that people will look back at and think like our generation was just crazy. Because we were thinking about ourselves, about pleasures, momentary pleasures, going out and partying, or having intercourse with a lot of different people. I think that's some things that we will look back at in, I don't know, I don't think our generation, but I think in 200 years.
Think with AI and you having AI girlfriends.
Yeah, I think they will look back and think we were animals because we were just living our lives without logic, just doing things that we wanted. And I think that's also like robots are just programmed to do the best thing in the best way possible without all the distractions. And I think when robots take over, they will think we're crazy, like us humans.
When robots take over, man.
When robots take over. Yeah, man.
But I mean, because I think we think ahead of what's happening.
Yeah.
Because I struggle sometimes even with ChatGPT. But the thing is, AI isn't just ChatGPT. You know?
No.
And I mean, when big figures like Elon Musk, the guy that won the Nobel Prize, are scared about AI.
Yeah.
It says something, you know?
It says something.
But if you look at it, I think the only way I can look at it, at least, or talk about it, is like in the cultural aspect. What people put. Because we've seen what this has done to people. When we can see now, or begin to see the consequences of isolation through having your own reality in your room.
Yeah.
When in history could a kid, without being forced, stay 1 week inside his room?
Yeah.
Going to the bathroom, kitchen.
Yeah.
In his room, man.
Are we talking about the
gaming?
Quarantine, yeah.
Man, anything. Quarantine is different. You know, but I say like you wanting to stay here. And 1 week is not long, man.
No.
People are like, their life is game. I mean, nothing bad against gaming, you know, it's just...
I have bad things about it. I don't know about you, but I think they're wasting their life. Yeah.
No, but if you follow this line, it's like... Man, have you seen this? I heard it somewhere that this photographer took photos of social gatherings and everyone was with their phone. But he took away the phone.
Yeah.
So you can see the photos of people just like zombies looking at their hand. Well, it's so disturbing. So disturbing. But it's a reality. And of course, your hand doesn't give you a lot of information like your phone.
No.
But the thing is, having this reality and without crazy AI, just like gaming, just like some software, some like
just the internet, social
a bit
media,
of dopamine,
everything.
you know, you isolate. I mean, not you and me, or there is many people that can balance it out.
Yeah.
But man, it's a big part that don't.
You know what I think will happen in the future? You can save this video for future generations, but I think that the real world will become AI dominated. All the working, all the things will become AI dominated. And us humans, we will take on a pair of glasses and we will live a different world where we're whoever we want to be. And we're going to live our life through these pair of glasses or through this simulation or putting something in your hand. Or I think we're going to just do something, teleport, remove our consciousness from this world and put it in like another world where we can like, I don't know, fly or whatever.
I was talking about this with Ivan in a podcast I did, I think. And we were talking about like, we started off with Neuralink, but I doubt you'll have to like put a chip inside your brain.
Yeah.
Just with putting in glasses or doing anything like very soft, bracelet even.
Yeah.
We were talking about imagine he said like you could create servers that were like realities.
Yeah.
And I thought about the perfect example of this is Avatar.
Yeah.
Man, imagine it. You can't argue it wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be. I mean, you have to like really know how to balance it with the real world.
Of course.
But you can't say it wouldn't be fun to be in
Avatar. If it's not fun, or if it's not fascinating, or if it's not something that will make people think, wow, people will not do it. So it has to be. It's almost implied that it has to be something.
But that doesn't mean it's good. I mean,
heroin
usually
makes people really wow. But I'm not saying it's something good. I'm just saying, I think you say this about the phone. People live their life through their phone or through gaming or whatever, and I think that's just a small foreshadow of what's about to happen, because this is just a phone. This is something that we can just detach ourselves.
Man,
but just imagine
the time. The screen time of the average.
Yeah, crazy. It's a third of your life.
People are more on the phone than they're asleep.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But this is something we can just. If I don't want to be on my phone tomorrow, I don't have to be on my phone.
Yeah, you're saying that the future is more connected.
But I think, especially because you say Neuralink, but that's the only one example, and that's the prototype. Just imagine what will be after. Just imagine all the things that will be, and you have to do it because
you have to do it.
I think we will be obligated to do it, because just imagine now living without the phone in society.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's really hard.
That's a really good point.
Just imagine being like, they would think you're a hipster or something crazy. Like they would think you're weird for not putting in all the chips in your hand and all the glasses that make you go anywhere in the world.
It would be like now we going to work in a cart and a horse.
Yeah. Exactly.
It would seem stupid having a car.
Or be honest, if you would see someone at the factory where we work, just pull up the flip phone. That would be. You would think, what is this guy?
I mean, doing? I would understand him.
Yeah, of course.
But it would be, it would be weird. I mean, that's also a thing. That's like not trusting you have balance.
Yeah.
One thing, I mean, the phones are bad, but the phones are good. The thing is, 17 hours a day in the phone is maybe not that good, but like 2, it's not the time, but what you do
quality,
with the phone.
Yeah, quality of the time.
You can't say like calling your grandmother from
no
another country. It's not real, but
it's
still better.
It's still something good, and I think you can be so productive on your phone. You can work. There are people who work full time of their phone. Like I know people who work full time of their phone, and I think it's something amazing. And I think like someone explained this, because a lot of Christians, when I grew up, because I grew up very conservative Christian, and people were always saying, "Oh, phones are bad," or "This is bad," or "This is bad." But it's not about the thing that's bad, because this is like how can I say this? Like a hammer. A hammer, I can hit you in the head with it, but I can also build you a house. It's a utensil. Is a how can I say? It's something you can use for good or for bad.
It's a double-edged sword.
Exactly. And the phone is exactly this. You can use your phone to waste your life, but you can also use your phone to improve your life and everyone else's life. And it's all about who you are as a person. It's the same thing with money. Money can be the best thing that happens to you. Money can also be the worst thing that happens to you. And the only thing that money does is show what kind of person you actually are. It's things that are in the middle, but that's just like the middle thing. If you're a good person and you have a phone, you will do good things. If you're a good person and you have money, you will do good things.
Going a bit deeper now, do you think we are made? I mean, if you go like our biology, our anatomy.
Yeah.
Autonomy?
Yeah.
Our biological, like, flesh.
Yeah.
Like, our ape mind.
Yeah.
Do you think we are made to be... I mean, the thing, it's good to have the phone because you can make money and work. I mean, you can't argue you can't be productive with the phone, but are we made to be like looking at the phone?
I want to speak about two things here. One thing, of course, the physical aspect is like, yeah, of course, it's maybe not the best thing to be on your phone in the bed and just curled up when you should be out moving and
more connected to nature. That's my argument.
But I think the phone or like technology and wasting your life in that way is worse for your spirit, not for your body.
Yeah, that was I meant.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, exactly, and that's what I mean. Made. It's not only your body that takes a negative impact of this. I think it's your spirit that takes the biggest effect, because your spirit is like, that's you, your soul. Your soul is the most important part of you. That's the eternal thing. Me speaking from a religious standpoint. And when you are on your phone all day, you're not meeting your potential. You're not doing what you're supposed to be. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. 99% of all the people who have phones don't use it for what they're supposed to be using it for.
100%.
It's just small entertainment and doing things they shouldn't be doing. We are not made for phones. It's true. Like, we're not made biologically, spiritually, in any way. We're not made for phones, but we still have them. Like, it's just normal.
We're in a society too that we need phone.
Yeah.
We can't like really work without the phone. We have to like. It would be. It's like having a phone in a place nobody has a phone. You would seem dumb. You know?
Yeah.
The same otherwise. But man, the thing with being connected to nature too, it's so like the air pollution, the light pollution.
Yeah.
I think a lot about that, man. Because the thing is, our connection, I can't imagine the connection we had as a society when we didn't even have electricity.
Yeah.
For example, with the stars, with the universe.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's why they had so many gods. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, the point is, when you are so connected to nature, your like curiosity goes in hand with that.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you can't say people aren't creative, but they're creative inside this technology world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or this art in like a lot of artists like paint cities or like art is difficult to explain.
Yeah.
But the point is like there is value in being connected to nature, and we aren't connected to nature.
And also not only nature, but also the relationships, like just the relationships between humans. Because just imagine back in the day. Today I'm like connected to so many people, but it's like very on the surface, you know. I'm very I see a lot of people. I see very like different lives, different cultures, different people doing different things, speaking different languages. But just imagine back in the day, you were like you knew your society, your close circle. Your friends were your friends for your whole life because that was the only person you were gonna meet. You know, you grew up in like a small village or something. That was all the socializing we were making.
And you needed them to survive.
You needed them for survival. That's the thing.
I mean, you need them now, but indirectly, not directly. No?
Yeah, just imagine the relationships and the bonds that were back in the day. Also, when it comes to love, like your romantic relationships. You know, today I think social media is ruining so many relationships. You know, because people are always looking at how relationships should be, and thinking that their relationship is wrong because it's not how it should be. If you look at social media, and you look at all the different types of people, and you're attracted to all of them, and you can't just live in the moment with the person that's beside you. You can't just appreciate what you have because you always feel like you should have something more.
You're comparing. That's the thing with social media. You're comparing.
Yeah.
You know, when you were alone, when you knew like 17 people and 5 of them were your family.
Yeah.
It's not so many people you can compare with.
No.
I mean, the instinct of survival was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would argue it was more like cooperation. I mean, everybody has problems and things, but you have a point there. There is some value in being like in nature. Imagine being in nature, the boys. I want to go to Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
With the horse, hunting, living there in the wild. Man, I think that's something we undervalue.
Of course.
A lot, man.
Of course.
We're inside this bubble that we need to have like now. If you don't have a private jet, a Lamborghini, the same color, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but you're doing something wrong in your life.
In your head, everyone is a millionaire. Everyone has the greatest cars. Everyone, and the fact is, many of them have just the facade of being successful, because they don't. They are not. We're, as you say, a thing with the bubble. You know, I think life 100 years ago, not even 100 years ago, 30 years ago, people lived more in the moment. People were more here and not anywhere else. Imagine if everything you knew right now was like the North Pole where you are right now, and just working, and that was everything you knew. You didn't know anything else. You didn't know what happened with this, and the people getting killed in that place, and the storm in that place, and you were just living here. I read somewhere that today we get more information in one day that people were having 100 years ago in a lifetime. And if you think about it, it's true. Just think about how much information we're getting from just our phones. Taking our phones, scrolling on TikTok, and you just see so many things that happens all around the world. And back in the day, people just knew what happened in this village. And if something happened in the next village, they didn't know about it.
The way they got their information is crazy now too.
Yeah.
Because back in the day too, like, it was your elders.
Yeah.
Who gave you the information.
Yeah.
Like if you go back even the Roman Empire, like it was normal for a kid to know, like the lineage of their family. You know, my great grandfather was this name and he did this. Man, my great grandfather, I don't know the man.
You don't know the man.
He worked as this.
Yeah.
And because my grandfather told me he remembered that thing. But we don't know. You know, we know our grandparents when we meet them. It's so strange the way. I mean, we differ there because you're more like family.
Yeah.
I have more crazy family.
Yeah.
But the connection and everything, it's. If you go back to what we started this with, that seems more healthy, looking at it like, or biologically, like if Plato divided us in conscience, the spirit, and the body part, I mean, you can't argue that this I mean, it comes in hand, you know, the conscience and everything needs the body.
Yeah.
It's not that we can,
Yeah.
I mean, not now.
Yeah.
You could like argue in some ayahuasca trip or something that you could concentrate more than one, but now it goes by hand. Maybe that's looking at it as one.
Yeah.
That's a good, I mean, it's a difficult thing to talk about because they were like arguing it in ancient Greece. Imagine us two here sitting in the corner of the room.
But that's also the discussion we have today about body and soul. And some people don't believe we have a soul, and some people believe we have a soul. And basically, the discussion is still like the same. Just today, maybe we have more understanding of the body, but of the soul, we've stayed like in the same place because we can't really like operate on a soul or open up a soul and just see it, you know.
I don't think we really understand the soul either.
No.
I mean, it's so weird to people. I think people are just so deep down in their day-to-day life, their like routines, their now especially with the dopamine, like you're just doing your thing, you're not thinking about your soul. That's also an argument to being connected with nature. You have more like time to just feel small. Maybe.
Yeah.
When you have these connections all the time with things that maybe not real or just made to create a reaction in you all the time, you can't like see the bigger picture maybe. I mean, who would argue that if you go underneath the stars, you don't feel like small thing, but at the same time so lucky and so like big. It's like you feel small and big in the same time. You feel connected. You feel like you feel like more right. You feel like more you're where you have to be, and I don't know. It's hard to explain, but everybody has felt it.
I understand. Yeah, it's true.
And that's changing.
It's true.
That's changing.
It's true. You know, the most beautiful things in life are starting to become less beautiful. You know?
In what way?
Because you talk about all this like nature and stuff, and I'm just thinking, when I was like a child, I used to be outside all day doing all these things, and I just remember the fresh air and like the grass and just all these things that were just like on a day-to-day basis. Maybe more in the summer because in Sweden it's like in the winter and it's not good weather, you can't be outside. But during the summer it was like the best time ever because you were free from school or you were just outside playing football with your cousins and your friends and now, you know, maybe also because we grow up, of course, but I'm just looking at, because I have two younger siblings that are like very much younger than me, and I'm just looking at their life, and of course they still have these small components of going outside playing soccer and football and like having like these small things that I also
Soccer
had.
is crazy.
Sorry, I'm thinking English right now.
Yeah,
Football.
playing, yeah.
They just like, they have these small components, but they don't have the full experience that I had.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad for them because
they have like phones and
yeah, like
how old are
my sister, she has like the iPad and she's 6 or 7 years old. Yeah, that's not good. And my little brother, actually, like today is his birthday. And
is it?
Yeah, and he just became 13. And
this podcast is dedicated
to
David.
David.
This podcast is dedicated
Podcast
to you,
is
man.
dedicated to David. And you know, I was talking to David today. I called him. I said happy birthday or whatever.
The one I saw?
No,
that was
no. The younger one. He just
Okay.
became 13 today.
Yeah.
And just thinking to when I was 13, man, life was so colorful, man. Life was so
13.
Life was like I can't even explain how colorful it was. Like everything had so much flavor, and food tasted different, and colors were different, and having fun felt different, and physical activity was different. And today everything is so gray. Maybe because I'm here, but honestly, like everything is so great. Not even food is as good as it was when I was a child.
I remember when I was like that age, when they first started with this computer stuff.
Yeah.
I remember my last years in Norway. I think I went to Spain when I was 12, 13.
Yeah.
So just in those years.
Yeah.
And when I was like 12 or 13, they had like a computer at school.
Yeah.
That you had to like learn to use. But I remember I hated it. I said, this is the dumbest thing ever. It's like the only good thing is to look up a good song on YouTube.
Yeah. And
but not like seeing YouTube or anything.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube like now. It was just like maybe a song come up.
Yeah.
But you were thinking the song, you know, thinking YouTube or the internet. I remember thinking, what is this www everybody's like typing in all the time? I had no clue. Those age, I think we are the generation that, I mean, I guess our grandfathers would say the same, we are the last generation.
Yeah.
But I would argue that we have like this change. Because when we were kids, like, we had this technology, but I mean, my parents had a flip phone.
They didn't even touch the. Yeah, of course.
Exactly, and all my memories or fun things were always like out oriented. Or maybe inside the house, but you were like playing hide and seek or something.
Yeah.
But always like activities with your body, with
it was
surroundings.
Physical, It was something tangible, something you could touch, something you can smell, something you can feel.
Yeah, exactly. Something you can smell.
Yeah.
They're so underrated, the smell.
Yeah.
You know what's happening, man? When I go through my school, I can smell it.
I can smell the memories.
No, but when you're in your school, I guess everybody has their like notion or smell certain thing they remember something, some period.
Yeah.
But man, I always do it with the school. When I go like to Norway now, we are in Norway, but the place I live in Norway, and I go past the school, I can see it, but the same way I can see it on the photo, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing I can smell it.
Yeah, man. I know exactly what you mean. And you know, speaking about this age, 13, that's also the age where I got like my first phone, like the first smartphone. And I think that's also the reason, because I think technology almost like took away our childhood in a way, you know? And as you said, like all things became less, even the smells, you know? You talk about the smell from the school. I still remember like when I was in school back in the day, before I had my phone, I was such a good student, okay? I was so productive. I was reading all the time. I still remember, like, my parents always tell us, like, you were reading one book a week at least. I was reading autobiographies all the time because I love them. You know, I read so many autobiographies. I read like everything.
What's your favorite one?
My favorite autobiography. I think one of my favorites. I think I told you this before, but there's this Swedish entrepreneur. His name is Paul Lederhausen. I read his book, and it was like, he's basically like the entrepreneur who brought McDonald's and many other big things to Sweden, but especially McDonald's. And he was just talking about the history, about everything and how we grew up. And I felt like we grew up in the same way, like we did a lot of the same things. And I remember I got so inspired by his life, and he went through really hard things. People were like, his son died when he was really young, and it was just, I read it, and I remember I was like 8 years old when I read it, and I read it like 7 times because I liked it so much, and that's what I mean, like life just lost a little bit of these small moments that were still so beautiful once you got in touch with technology. Like books, I went from reading many books to not reading. Like, of course I've read books since then, but I haven't read them not even close to as many as I read before I had my phone. Because the day I got my phone, I wasn't on my books, you know, I was on my phone. And you know, you were just starting to and you know, getting social media, and it was so much information all at the same time, and it was memes, and it was trends, and it was.
You remember the first like contact with social media? In my case, it was like Facebook.
Yeah.
It was like everybody has gotten Facebook.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like. How old did you have to be to have Facebook? Like, I just remember I had to like fake my age.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I have a Facebook account over there that says I'm like 26 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's me. My father sees it and congrats me like,
Happy birthday! You're
27.
It's crazy.
Bro, my father doesn't know my age. I swear, I'm right now. I'm 21.
Yeah.
Like before I went here.
Mm-hmm.
Some friends of my parents came.
Yeah.
And my parents said like, "Yeah, this is my son." And he asked, "Oh, how old?" I said, 23 years old. He's already 22 years old. And I was sitting inside the car like, impossible. This is impossible.
What kind of man?
This guy, man. This guy.
Man, it's crazy because.
But it's just funny, man. It's just funny.
Man, we're all living the same life. It's crazy.
23 is crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm 21. I mean, 1 year.
But 2 years. Man, I think age means so much right now because we're young. But I think in the future, man, I will just say, I'm this age, you know.
Since I was 18,
Yeah.
I had like zero care.
Yeah,
about
of
my
course.
age.
Because 18 is the big age where you're like, I can drive.
Yeah.
But after it's like all the.
The thing is, you don't really want to like age.
No.
I mean, for me in the beginning it was like, because it's the typical, you compare yourself. No, because when Lamine Yamal
Yeah.
is 17, he has
Yes.
almost the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. And you're.
I'm like.
I'm 5 years older.
Man, and what am I? I'm.
And I'm
with fish.
all day.
With salmon.
The boxes.
Hey,
Eh.
the boxes
The boxes?
doesn't get organized themselves.
No.
Eritano. No, you can't compare yourself because you're in constant depression and it's like not healthy for you, you know?
No, it's not good. Actually, I think comparing is the thief of happiness. You know,
Yeah.
is the biggest like thief of happiness, and that's not only in one case. In all cases, if I always feel like I'm behind or I'm not at one level because someone else's is, I'm never gonna be appreciative of what I actually have, and that's in everything. Like even my situation right now, because I know people at my age, like I know them personally that are crypto millionaires, and I can always look at them and think, they're so much ahead of me. But we have to understand that we're living different lives. Okay, right now we're the same age, and right now we're basically on the same place, me and you. But you will go on and live your life, and I will go on to live my life. And it's like we're gonna take different paths around.
That's so crazy, man. And like, this is our life, and like, in some strange way, it did like just
This
here now.
Exactly.
That's
It's
so crazy. And
It's
that's
crazy.
like even all your interactions with people.
Yeah.
God knows where they came from and how they came there and how did like the path cross. And afterwards, you know, it goes on.
I was just today I was listening to my favorite preacher, and his name is Philip Anthony Mitchell. He's like this really good preacher from Atlanta, Georgia, and you have to listen to him. I have to give you one of his sermons one time because it's one of he's so good at explaining things. And I was listening to this preaching from Matthew 7, where it says about like seek and you should seek, knock, and get the answer or something like this. And he was talking about exactly this, like human relationships. And he said something like in the beginning, he said like all our, he said in our lives, our biggest blessings have come on 2 feet. But also our greatest disappointments has also come on 2 feet, like basically through humans. like our relationship has been the reason for all our greatest sorrows, but also our biggest happiness. Because, relationships is basically everything we have that's actually a value. And when you spoke about these things, I was just thinking about this, like, all people we just meet them, but we're getting so much happiness, sadness, but with joy, and also like we just get so many feelings from people, so many beautiful things that takes life forward. And just think of life if you didn't have relationships. Man, is the most boring life ever. The things that give life meaning and color and taste is relationships, is the people in our lives. They are the blessings. They are the biggest, the best thing that can happen to us. And the worst thing that can happen, a death or something like this, is because like a relationship ends, It just, when you think about it, everything we have is the relationships to the people around us,
And the best, that too, man. It's like, it's something that every person encounters. Like some family members of yours have died or gonna die.
Yeah.
It's like so, like,
it's
the thing with love and
Yeah.
having kids.
Yeah.
It's been all our history,
Yeah.
also that. But man, when it happens, it's like, it hurts so much, man. How can something so normal hurt so much? Like it everywhere. It's like the most normal thing there is. I mean, for us to survive, usually we have to kill some animals or some plants.
Yeah.
Like, how is it that we suffer so much through that?
I think it's, firstly you think about the person, because of course I care more about the death of someone that's closer to me than that someone that's a stranger. And I think it's all about the relationship that's behind the person, Like, when I think about, like, just an example, I would never want this, but if you would die, I would think about all our, like, interactions and all the times we've laughed and, like, our relationship, and that would make me sad. But if a random guy from Spain died before I knew you, of course I wouldn't be happy, but I wouldn't be sad.
It wouldn't affect you in any way.
Exactly. And if you died right now, it would affect me very much, But it's all about the relationship you have with the person. And of course, you can always feel sympathy for someone that dies. And of course, you wouldn't want someone else to die just because they're a random person you don't know. But that's more thinking about, they're human and they have like a soul, and probably they also have relationship with other people, That's what I think about when I hear that someone has died that I don't know.
The people that love them.
The people that love them, exactly. Everything is about relationships. What makes you valuable is basically your relationships. And being alone is apparently the biggest reason for suicide and for depression. Being alone. You just imagine not having any relationships at all. People just don't feel any reason to live. It's so sad. Like, that's maybe that is the worst thing that probably can happen to someone, to be alone.
I don't remember the film, but it was like a kids film, but it was so deep, man, on some level. It's like the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
It's like very popular in Mexico and in Spain.
Yeah.
People know it's at Halloween. It really is like the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
The Americans are like,
yeah.
The movie was like an animated movie. I don't remember the name.
Coco.
Maybe. The thing was like, man, it's Coco, okay, it's like change spirit. It was some deep message there.
Yeah, man.
The thing was, when people stop like thinking about you, when you
disappear.
died.
Yeah, that's Coco.
I mean, okay, well, Coco. One family member died.
Yeah.
You went to a place, I don't know where.
Yeah.
And you continue living.
Yeah.
As long as your family still
remember you. Yeah.
And that's like, maybe, I don't know, because this terrain we don't know, but in an inconscient way, something that's real, we create. Like, in some way, we create reality. Or belief, maybe, who knows? Our belief is something, like our relation, I mean, who knows if that's the way it works? Maybe we have that power inside of us, like if we truly are, because that's like a feeling we get from somewhere. I mean, the relationship itself. Why do I have a strong relationship with my mom than a person I work with every day? It's different. And how do you explain it, like biology-wise?
Yeah.
You can't. It's just like a feeling. You have a relationship. It's your mom, but mom is just a word.
Yeah.
It's like something
title,
inside both of us that connects us in a way that we call mom, mother, and son.
Yeah.
But that connection, in maybe a way we don't understand, has power after we die.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably true, and I think this is all tied down to the soul, you know?
Yeah.
And because if you look at the animal kingdom, of course...
Yeah, but the soul we've always talked about, like, our own soul.
Yeah.
Not our relationship.
Of course, no, but soul is like, it's something very, like, soul is also, like, my flesh doesn't have a relationship with your flesh.
I mean, this is the first time I think about this way.
Yeah, but it's the soul, you know, because if you look at animals, like just a spider lays 1,000 eggs, goes away, and never sees the children again. And of course, there are, like, example of cows and horses I've seen that take care of their children, but once they take one away from the other, they forget, you know? They live their life different and separate, you know? But if me and my mother would live separate, I would still remember her my whole life, you know? And I would still communicate with her in a way.
Do you think that's culturally? Culturally?
What do you mean?
If you think that's like inside of our conscience, or like...
I don't think that's culturally.
Or
no.
is it something you learned?
I don't think it's something I learned. I think it's something, as I said, something that's inside of us, but something that's soul tied, you know? Because when I think about my mother, I'm not thinking about her as just like this woman who has eyes and a body and hair and whatever. I'm thinking about who she is as a person. And who she is as a person is the way she acts, the way she speaks, the way she treats me. That thing is not just biological. That's something of her behavior. That's something that like her behavior is dictated by something, her consciousness, her soul. And what were you saying? You asked me about the cultural thing. If it's culture, I don't think that's culture. Also, why I don't think it's culture is that the relationship between a son and a mother is present in every culture. It's not like a culture that doesn't. How can I say this? Like where this relationship doesn't exist.
There are, like, but this very specific, where maybe your biology.
You're biologically.
My biology.
What do you want to say?
Biologic.
Biologic.
My biologico. Mi padre biologico. My
biological parents.
My biological. Why can't I say the word?
Have you seen the guy who eats the grape and says biological? Just say, man.
My biological father.
Yeah.
And my biological man.
Just struggling. We understand you, man. Your parents.
No, it's not even this either. It's like my biological
parents.
Man, I can't.
My biological father and mother.
Yes, that's not like the culturally or the parents I really have, because it's like in one culture it was like your mother and her, like in your uncle her brother were your parents.
Ah, okay.
And that's what you learn.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like, so that's why I asked. Because I think
you make a good point.
Some conscious level inside.
Yeah.
I mean, you share so much in common. Your DNA, genetics.
Of course, and you make a good point, because there's adoptive parents, people that doesn't have.
Man.
Yeah,
that's a good example.
People, and also there's mentors. Mentors that means much more than just the people that brought you to this world. Because I know people that they didn't have a father present, and they got mentors that raised them and were a father figure.
Exactly.
You make a great point, and I think that's also that's exactly what I mean. I think it's when I say soul, like human souls, like they still interact even though they're not biologically intertwined. You know, and that's the way. The thing I love about my mom is not that she gave birth to me. You know, is the person that she is. That makes me love her.
So that says in other ways that you can create a conscience or soul-like relationship with someone.
Yeah.
You don't have to be born in.
Of course. And you maybe say that's culture, but I think culture, I don't think anyone has taught me how to love my mother. You know what I mean? And I don't think the examples I've seen around me has made me love my mother. I didn't see someone else love their mother and that's why I love my mother. No, I think it's something, it's a relationship. Like I've built a relationship to my mom. And I think that relationship is the reason why me and her have, like, I love her, you know? And yeah, because everything, as I said, is relationships. Like the relationship you have with the person, that one makes the relationship important. That one makes the bond important, you know? That's how I see it.
You know, because this, in some way, also, the thing we think about and everything, is like outside of, I would like to believe, of our instinct of survival.
Yeah.
Yes, you need a tight relationship with your family to survive.
Yeah.
But in some way, we also think outside of this survival. I think that's one of the things that separates us from maybe other animals.
Yeah.
There are examples like dolphins that do things recreationally, but to stand the point. My last podcast with Jock, it was really interesting to see his point of view, how or why we had this part of us that's conscient, as he said it, that was like more, I don't know if creative, but adventurous, like curious of what we are here for, anything. Mm-hmm. And he argued that it was a more advanced civilization that gave us their gene.
Yeah.
And it was that gene we had that made us like want to discover everything.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? But
we might just say it's not wrong. It's not right, but
I mean, it makes sense that it's some part of us that I don't know what it is, but makes us look at the sky. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I know I like this book from Franz de Waal. He says we're not intelligent. He asks, are we intelligent enough to understand the intelligence of animals? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think we underestimate them a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, octopus, what's that?
They're the smartest animal, I think. It's
Man, and the animals we don't know yet.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, I can't be in the head of animals. Wish I could. Maybe we could with, who knows. Yeah. That would be a crazy thing, you know? Talking with animals. Do you think I can create that?
I have a would you rather. Would you rather be able to talk to animals or be able to know every language ever?
Talk to animals 100%.
I would rather know every language ever.
And
man, I don't want to know what a dog thinks about. Man, I don't want to think what the dolphin thinks about. Listen, probably they will be like, oh, I'm hungry. I want to eat something. Just think about it. Knowing every language, I can travel to any culture and I can communicate with them perfectly.
How long do you think
you will be the most...
to have a phone here and talk with the other person?
You will be the most... But that's the thing. If you see someone that comes and speaks to you through a phone, Spanish, it's like...
Coming from an anthropologic background, I should agree with you with this.
But just think about someone comes to you and you're in northern Norway and they just start speaking Spanish fluently. Just imagine the connection you feel to the person. Yeah. You can become the most powerful human ever if you know every language. Be able to communicate with everyone ever. And that's why I said ever. Imagine knowing Old Latin. and old Greek.
Okay, you are there with your book, understanding things.
Yeah.
But then you look behind you, and I come with my army, like Noah's Ark, behind all the boys. Everybody.
I would argue that humans are the most dangerous animals.
The canary and Mowgli behind you, man. Imagine.
All the snakes in the world just attack all the spiders. Man. That's crazy.
Animals, man. Fuck languages, man.
No, I think languages is the.
If the Library of Alejandria.
Yeah.
Were still, like
here today, yeah, intact.
I would think about it. Man,
I
don't know. Animals, man.
Just be
animals.
Just think, picking up every ancient scroll of every language and just read it, and you be the person that has all the information.
You know who is older, or who's been on the planet most? Between
animals and humans.
No. Between a shark and trees.
It's a shark.
Man, imagine talking to a shark. Hey, bro. What's up with this, like, ancient humans? Can
you tell me? Yeah, man.
I bet his foot so dirty. He had those most dirty feet I've ever eaten, man. Thank God you began cleaning yourself.
You're thinking too far, man. I'm just thinking from a practical standpoint. I think because I'm so interested in languages. Languages, I think it's so interesting when you start to dive in different structures of languages. Like when I hear Spanish, okay, I'm always taking the comparisons to all the languages I know. Like, of course, Romanian, because they're both Latin languages. But even like as I said, I grew up with a lot of people from different cultures in southern Sweden, with a lot of Arabs, with a lot of just a lot of cultures, and I've learned many words. And like just when I hear like, how did you say rice in Spanish? Arroz. And in Arabic, rice is arroz. You know, it's the same thing. And just when you hear like the different, like how languages evolve, and it's the same thing like with the Gypsy language, you know, because it comes from India. And I've just recently started learning it more, and it's like I understand it fluently, but I can't speak it really good. And it's just like when I hear an Indian speaking now, I can understand what they're saying because the language came from northern India. Yeah.
You can understand Indian.
I can understand
the
Indian.
Gypsy.
Yeah, because they're Indian words. Like it's 40 or 50% similar. Like words.
40% similar.
Yeah, as Punjabi.
Punjabi is the language.
Yeah, in northern India, it's like 1,000 languages in India.
There are so many people.
I know, man. I know. There's like 1,000 religions and 1,000 different people and 1,000 different religions, languages.
Yeah, because that's so curious. Because when you haven't been in the country, you think Spanish, but when you are a Spanish person, you can hear 40 different accents or languages.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Even in Norway, man, you say in Norway
just one language, yeah. But
5 million per person. Yeah. What's going?
Yeah.
And there are so many different like dialects.
Yeah. Dialects, languages, everything. I'm just so interested in how things evolve. Especially us from southern Sweden, people are laughing at us in Sweden because they say we're Danish. Okay, because the Danes occupied the southern Sweden for I don't know how many hundreds of years.
Weren't like Sweden and Norway inside of the Danish?
A union. Yeah. There's been a lot of Sweden and Denmark is like the two countries who have fought the most in history, who has like owned territory, and Norway has also been involved. And
Norway were like the younger brother.
yeah, for everyone. Like, take Norway also. You take Norway also. And
man, but Denmark,
That
is underrated, man.
Of course, man.
They have Greenland.
They have the Faroe Islands also. They have like they're not small, man.
In Faroe Islands, is it there like this bird?
Yeah.
Is it there that it comes from?
Yeah, I think so.
This bird.
This bird, and I know exactly what to say. No, but so in the southern Sweden, we speak like a little bit more like Danish people because we have like this accent, and people are like laughing at us. But if you look at it through an historical perspective, just imagine things that happened 5, 6, 7, 1,000 years ago still have impact on our language today. Language is history, basically. That's what I'm trying to say.
How do you think the Vikings influenced the people here?
The people in Europe, or where do you mean?
Scandinavia.
Well,
Scandinavia.
I think they're always been here, right? Like Vikings were just Scandinavian warriors. I don't know how to think about them. I think they had a huge impact on the rest of Europe. Like I think when they came,
I guess
with their big boats and
I guess they were like famous in not such a good way when you saw a Viking ship coming. Like in north of Ireland, just looking.
Just like, I think it was.
Yeah, they come again.
That is crazy. And you know, it also had.
Stand your base. Stand your base, man.
Just became Conor McGregor.
Keep your feet grounded.
That's Scouse, man.
Isn't that Irish?
That's Liverpool accent.
Grounded.
That's Paddy the Paddy.
Stand your base.
I'm a Scouser. We don't get knocked out.
No, but imagine, man, being like in. Always I heard the name Sussex.
Yeah.
How is it called? Sussex.
It's like Essex, Sussex. There's like
a part of England.
Yeah.
Man, the Vikings.
They just came there.
It was like, I don't know, but the Vikings were like obsessed with that part.
Man,
and it was also, man, I should watch for Vikings again. I learned so much geography of England with Vikings.
They had so much influence on the culture also because a lot of Vikings stayed there, and they also took a lot of English people back to Scandinavia.
The pagans.
Yeah, it is crazy. And also I heard this story about the first time that Catholicism came to the Scandinavia. You know, it was this one. I think it was like German or Polish man.
Wasn't it like through Martin Luther?
No, that's
exactly.
Yeah,
because here they are not Catholic; they are Protestant.
No. It's not this story I'm talking about.
No.
I'm talking about like the people in the north. They had the Norse religion, the Norse god. You know, Odin, Thor, Freya,
Valhalla.
Yeah, exactly. That was their Valhalla.
Uppsala. You know what Uppsala was? It was, I think, in Sweden. Uppsala were like
is a city in Sweden.
Yeah, and it was like a place, like Mecca for the Arabic people. It was like a pilgrim. People went to make like a big ritual there.
Okay,
and they even sacrifice people, but they usually sacrifice like animals and stuff to all those gods. So Uppsala was like this.
I didn't know this.
It was the spot.
This is where thing happened. It was Hollywood.
Uppsala with the boys
with Stushlet.
Crazy.
Nah, but
the thing also with the religion, how it mixed with society.
Yeah.
Like, if you only went to Valhalla if you like died in battle.
Yeah. It was seen as something so honorable.
Yeah, man.
Dying for your country or your faith or your whatever, it was just seen as the most honorable thing. And this is really interesting because this intrinsic things also made young guys go and battle in Europe from America during the First and Second World War.
Yeah, but the First and Second World War, man, that's like, I would say that's so different warfare.
Yeah.
Like after Napoleon, the warfare...
War was just crazy. I heard this meme. Man, I just heard this meme and it was just crazy. Like alliances, what alliances made of wars. And in example in Europe, like it was a meme. Like imagine waking up as a French guy and you having to go in Germany to fight because a Serbian guy in Bosnia killed a Austrian priest, like basically the first
So
World War.
dumb, man.
And it was just the craziest thing to imagine, because I had to go fight with someone because their alliance, the country they're allied to, were attacked by a country that I'm allied to, and
we owed them.
And we owed them.
And we owed them.
Nah, man, war is just crazy. War is just. I listened to Joe Rogan. And in the last podcast, I don't remember. I think it was with Theo Vaughn, like the last one I heard. They were talking about this because in the First World War, people were not willing to go and take. Like, they didn't want to kill people, you know? Young guys didn't want to kill people. They didn't want to go out and kill people. So they were just like, how can we make young guys inspired to go out and kill? And what they did was they turned to the film industry, and they made so many war movies during that period. And it was basically propaganda. Like, oh my God, these soldiers that are going through Germany or whatever, and they're fighting this important war because they're the bad guys and we're the good guys. And this higher power, and basically they brainwashed a whole generation to go and fight a war they didn't know anything about. And so many people died. Like a crazy amount of people. We hear, 30, 40, 50,000 people died. Yeah, that's just, man, we're 2 people here. Just imagine how many people died. And one life, I promise, one life being taken in a war is too much. It's too much, especially for a war that doesn't mean anything, because war doesn't get resolved with fighting. It gets resolved through diplomacy, you know?
Yeah, it's political. It's so disgusting too, you know?
Yeah.
People sitting in offices, like deciding lives, millions of lives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if millions, but
yeah.
I mean, overall, all the death of the wars, I guess it's millions, but man, armies, and it's just not armies, it's like from like 18 to 30, all the boys.
All the men, all the men.
Boys, man, 18-year-old boy.
They're boys,
18-year-old boy.
They're boys. They don't know anything better.
The parents, imagine your parents. And just because they didn't get along or they have some interest in common.
Man, you know what I miss? I miss times where wars, they were decided and led in the front, not in the back.
The last one, I think it was like Belgium.
Belgian king. A Belgian king who led the army from the front. And that's dedication. That's something I respect. That's something, if you do that, you have every right to say, yeah, let's go to war. But right now, when people in offices dictate young men to go and die for what? For what? No, man, it's one of the craziest things. And also, I heard back in the day, you know how in the Roman Empire, how they chose like a new Caesar, a new, how can I say, Caesar, a new emperor. There were 2 ways. Basically, either you were a senator who was chosen to become the new emperor, or you became an emperor through being the best, through leading the army in the best way for many years, and then becoming the emperor. I don't know if you've seen the movie Gladiator. Basically, this older guy says to Russell Crowe, I want you to become emperor because he's led so many battles so many battles and won so many battles for the Roman Empire. And he said, I want to make you king. And basically the son becomes jealous and kills and whatever. But the thing is this, that's actually historically accurate. People became emperors through this way. Like, they were so good in battle that they became kings, basically.
I mean, I could in some way prefer that to, like, because the Roman Empire, when they tried like dynasties, it was horrible. Marcus Aurelius' son was a horrible leader.
Commodus.
Horrible leader, man.
Crazy, man.
This crazy father, his father was like, this meditation. Have you read Meditation, man? Crazy book. I almost like made a TikTok account, just like with phrases of meditations. It's like so it's so powerful how 2,000 years ago, and so current still, they take so part of the things that we personally have, that we are going to struggle with our whole life. Doesn't care when in the timeline you are. You're still going to have some personal problems with relationship with yourself, how to see power. Because one thing is you wanted to have power and all that game, but also it's important how to control it so it doesn't affect you. Because the thing is, you like it or not, a lot of things in this life you have to know how to handle.
Yeah.
It's not enough to say this is bad. You gotta know how to act in these bad situations. It's easy to say no, I'm a good friend. It's more difficult to be a good friend when you don't have anything to win or lose.
Yeah.
Like if something in front of you that's not good, like Jordan Peterson would say, you have the more obligation to fight it, because if not you're a coward.
Yeah.
So also see it in other things externally and live inside it. That Robert Greene is so good at it.
I don't know who Robert Greene is.
Robert Greene is the author of 48 Rules of
Ah,
Power.
yeah, of course.
But man, you know who also? 50 Cent. They even made a book together. Man, 50 Cent, they think he's just this rapper.
Yeah.
Man, he has some crazy insights in how to
I know.
move around.
I know.
And that's so interesting too, because we think, no, I'm good. I'm good, and if I'm good to people, they're gonna be good to me. That's not really how things work. You have to be good enough so they don't see you as something that only gives them good. It's like this crazy balance in your relationship, and when I learned that, I mean, I'm no expert in this, but I have had an evolution inside of my relationships. And when I was living in Norway, it was one thing.
Yeah.
It was very this was the people. That. When I went to Spain, man, because there are so many people, and my father has told me this my whole life. It's one thing he's told me again and again and again. Is in Spain you have to make your space. You know, if you don't push yourself and make your space
you're gonna stay down. Yeah.
You're not gonna get inside.
Yeah.
It's like the Chinese trains now.
Yeah. I think the Indian trains rather.
Bro, the Indian trains is different because you can just hold on with the flag position like this in the train. No problem. Half the price. Yeah, but the thing is, when I came to Spain, man, I had to make my place. And it was so weird because I thought, this is you have to be good.
Yeah.
In Norway we had sign, zero. Zero mobbing, zero bullying, zero...
Yeah.
Treat everybody good and that. Came to Spain, it was survival of the fittest. I always played football, for example. There were some guys playing football. I tried to join them. It was no, it's better that if you just watch. And it was
you took it
there
personal.
You can take a decision there, you know. Yeah. It's now you see it's just done. You grow up and you're No, but in that moment, it's your whole life. Your whole life is if you can play football or no. Because it's what you do daily. It's your routine. And it's going to have a massive impact on your life, that's moment. Because school, when you're that age, it's everything.
Yeah.
You go to school, maybe you do this, sleep, eat. School is 8 hours, maybe 6 or 8 hours.
It's the majority of your day.
So those small decisions, those small I have to fit, but I have to be respected. I have to respect. How do I do it? How do I make my place without being bad at someone, being angry without being too nice because they just take advantage of me. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that it doesn't even now with the technology is different because you can pay your way towards a big character inside a video game or something. But if you have real person-to-person interactions, there are some things that you just have to learn, like it or not.
Yeah.
And as the thing, if I'm honest, that improved me the most in that sense was jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Fighting, huh?
Man, it gave me a confidence.
Yeah.
And I'd never had a fight after I knew jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's not that I had like
crazy
7 fights
yeah.
every time I didn't have jiu-jitsu. But the thing is, when you know martial art, I think it's so healthy to people because you get like a confidence.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of confidence. It would help you so massively to like try out your body, like, because what's the worst case scenario walking in the street? It gets heat up and you get in an argument. If you used to like train, like trying to hurt someone, and that person tried to hurt you, you aren't like in the moment, like in this flow state. You're inside just trying to like through techniques dominate the person.
Yeah,
like
neutralize the thing.
Man, you like learn it and you get used to it. And of course, the like emotional part of the moment of you being with a stranger and that, takes you away. But when you
it's adrenaline
begin,
of course,
like your mechanism pops in and you just pump.
Yeah.
And in some way, you get less emotionally.
Yeah.
Because you've been there like
so many times.
5 times a day, from Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
It's not like this fight. No, it's like the thing I do. Though it doesn't mean you have to be like more cocky or walk around like
no.
knowing everything. I'm not do that, I'm not.
You're not the master.
Yeah. But it makes me feel a bit more calm when I walk.
There's two things you said that's really interesting. Firstly, confidence, and I think, as you said, a little confidence makes a huge difference. And it's not only in life, the thought of nobody can take me in a fight, but also a little confidence when it comes to like things you want to do in life, businesses, learning something, doing something. Just a little bit of confidence, just a little bit push that makes you feel like, oh my god, I'm good at this. Like I know I have this like I have this swag when I do it. I have this fluency. I don't feel like it's forced. I think that's a really huge thing. And the second thing you said about fighting, I think fighting is one of the things that in life you can't fake. Okay, you can't fake a good fighter.
That's so true.
You can't fake. That's the thing, and that's why I think it's so healthy when you say about fighting, because a bodybuilder can always take steroids, or a runner or a football player. There's always steroids, of course. Fighting also in fighting, but just fighting, just the thing in fighting. Okay, it's like you have to train it. The technique behind fighting, you have to train it. You can see that someone has a technique because they've trained it so much.
And you know how the feeling of, because what you're saying now takes me back to being in the mats, because there's, you say it perfectly, there's no way to fake it. You know what the feeling is? It's so good.
Yeah.
Some things in life you just say, this is correct. This is a correct way of having relationships.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in jiu-jitsu, for example, you're in the mat.
Yeah.
You don't need to open your mouth. And everybody is in their place. You can't like talk your way up the hierarchy.
No. You have to.
You can't talk. Yeah. It's nothing you're gonna say that makes you better than him in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you have to go to the mat.
It's only your ability to submit him, to control him, to.
You have to go to the mat.
Man, and that's so good. I think that's so good because it's difficult.
Yeah.
It like makes you go every day and try to improve, and it's not like you reading, you're getting beaten up. It's so humbling.
Of course.
Man, and the thing with jiu-jitsu too, one day you start submitting other people, and you get like this rush. You're like in top of the mountain.
You're Gordon Ryan.
Man, the same day.
Yeah.
The same day.
Someone comes.
Next fight, next roll, you got submitted 7 times. You get down just and up and down, and it keeps you in the perfect spot.
Yeah.
And the thing is, all your energy, you just because we are humans that have a past, have a aggressive past. I would say, and that force we have inside of that, the necessity of taking out our energy physically, we have that need.
Yeah.
And I think it plays a huge role in our mental part also. I heard this someplace and it makes so sense. Some mental problems don't have mental solutions.
Of course.
Some mental problems, the best thing you can do is something physical. There's this author, I think she went on Joe Rogan, and she argued that thinking about your problem just make your problem bigger.
Of course.
And there is something with your physical. I mean, we get always back to the physical and the soul and the thinking and the play, the dance between them. And we have to remember, we have this ape inside us, or this instinctive, physical, exploratory, aggressive, relationship-based human that need this physical, this exploration, and outside and inside. Also, this is so important to be wrestling with our morals. That same thing that is the same thing that's called having God inside you. We have to have these battles. We're talking now jiu-jitsu, when you're battling with other people, just but also with yourself. The need of improvement.
The hardest battles are your own, with yourself. And I think someone that hasn't experimented that kind of battle are not the same type of human who is someone who is constantly trying to beat themselves and become better. Because I'm thinking about my life, okay? And everyone can say the same thing. The times I've learned the most is the time I've been hurt the most. And I'm not talking about breaking a leg. I'm talking about breaking a ID, or breaking a relationship, or breaking something you have so much hope for. Because now we're talking about you say about God, and that's why God is such an important part of my life, because I've been in so many situations in my life where I felt like I'm alone, like I'm alone with my problems, and like nobody can help me with what I'm going through. And yeah, it's true, nobody actually could, because your battles is your battles and my battles are my battles. And that's the thing, someone made this comparison, like when you have God in your life but you still choose to hold on to your problems and not leave them to God. That's like going on a bus and keeping your shopping bags in your arms. Man, just let them on the floor, because it's still gonna go in the same direction.
How do you give your problems to God?
Well, giving your problems to God, there's many different ways, to that I can say, because very individualistic to the problem that people have. But an example is,
for example, a person now that doesn't know what that means, but they have some problems, and you say, give your problems to God. What's the way of them doing it? They have these problems, they don't know how to do it, they are just so difficult for them right now. How do you give those problems to God?
Well, first thing, you have to know what you're giving your problems to. Who is God? And that's when we can start talking about who God is. But you have to go out and look for God. Because before you can give something your problem, you have to know who it is. Don't give your problems to anything or anyone. And that's when it comes to the whole idea behind seeking God. Who is God? What is God for me? Who is my God? One example, by okay, you know who your God is. Okay, but then the first step is, okay, what is my problem? Okay, I come before God. with faith, you know. I come with faith. I take a step towards him, and he takes 2 steps towards me, you know. And the first step is going down on your knees and praying. Maybe the first step is just saying, God, I have a problem, out loud, because God knows you have a problem. But you know, it's like at the psychologist, you know. You're there. People know you don't feel good. Now you just have to say what the problem is, in order so you can talk about it and work it out and maybe come to a solution. And I think God is the same way. You have to become vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly. Before God, you have to open your heart, tell Him without filter, without the feeling of, oh, I don't want to say the whole truth because I'm ashamed or whatever. No.
How do you convince yourself that you're being vulnerable and not weak?
That's a good question. And I think, but the difference between being open and being weak is like, I think everything comes down to why you're doing what you're doing. The why behind it. Why are you crying? Why are you saying what you're saying? Is it because you're weak, or is it because you actually want to open up? Or what do you mean by weak? Like, can you explain the question?
I think men particularly have this quest always inside of them. They're saying like, I can't be weak.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should have it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't seem weak. Maybe it's a reproduction gene we have. We can't seem weak.
Of protecting. Of course.
But being weak maybe is.
But you know, the thing is this. I think the strongest thing you can do sometimes is just open up. And I'm not talking about just opening up and started crying everywhere. But the thing is this, okay? You have to realize your role as a man. Your role is not to be perfect. Your role is not to be the knower of all things and not to worry. That's not your role, okay? Your role as a man is to provide, protect your family and the people around you, and be a good member to society. But we also have problems. We also need people. We also need something to open up to, because we can't keep our problems inside. And that's where God comes in. And especially for young men, okay? Especially for young men, why God is so important is because when we hold things inside, that's when all the bad things happen. That's when school shooting happens. An example. That's when criminality happens. That's when doing rapes and stuff. That's when bad things happen. You have to open your heart. You have to become vulnerable in some way, in some level. I'm not saying you have to go and talk to a psychologist. Every guy should go now and talk to a psychologist, but I think when it comes to God, man, that's the thing I'm gonna recommend to everyone, whoever you are, how hard you may, even if you're the hardest man on earth, even you're the most successful, the strongest, the best fighter, man, one thing I realized is that everyone needs God. And I'm not talking about any God, okay? I'm talking about like my God, you know. I'm talking about Jesus Christ, you know. He has, man, he's helped me so much, man. And you know, sometimes I feel like a real hypocrite, you know, because I talk about a God and then I'm not living the way I want to live. And this is the same wrestle as Paul had, like in Romans, because I was reading this passage. Paul is like one of the apostles, you know. He's like one of the greatest characters in the whole Bible. He's one of the guys who revolutionized the Christian faith and spread it around the world in one of the best ways possible. And he has like a redemption story about how he used to persecute Christians and then he became a Christian. Like, it's just a crazy story. And he writes in Romans about how his flesh and his spirit is fighting, and how he says like, the things I don't want to do, I'm doing, and the things I want to do, I'm not doing. and that's me, and that's you. You know, like I'm doing things I constantly tell myself I don't want to do, and I'm not doing the things I'm constantly saying I want to do. And that's exactly the fighting between spirit and flesh. You know, your soul wants something that's greater. Your soul wants something that's better. If I'm asking you right now, you have maybe a vice in your life, something that's keeping you down. If I'm asking you right now, somebody want to do this thing anymore, or you don't want to do this thing, you will say no, but you're still gonna do it.
Like in some way, we always, conscient or not, are wrestling with our potential.
Of course, of course. But you know, it's crazy because in some way you have to believe that. How can I say this? In order to believe in some kind of morality, to wrestle with the moral and wrestle with our potential, you have in some ways you have to believe that there's something bigger.
That's the thing with being like atheist.
Yeah.
It doesn't make so much sense to me. Like these things we're talking about.
Yeah.
We have the idea of there is something that's called good and something that's called bad.
Yeah.
When you feel bad, it's like you're doing something bad.
Yeah.
Because if you were doing something good, maybe it would be better.
Yeah.
And there's something that's called better.
Yeah.
It's something that is there in some place that through good actions I could get there. But it's not. I think people mistake in saying I'm gonna get there. I don't think it's a place you get to.
Yeah.
It's like a way of living, a way of having a journey, a way. We talked about it a bit earlier. The constant bettering of ourselves, the constant like wrestling, physical, mentally. Like you can't be a fighter without fighting. There's nothing called fighter that
If
never.
you're not fighting, yeah.
Who would call you a fighter if you never fought anything? But the thing I'm meaning now, it's not like fighting itself. I try to exemplify it mentally.
Yeah.
You will never become like. And this was the thing earlier you said with holding things inside of it. There's no fighter that only does their techniques inside their head.
No.
There's no way of you becoming good at the techniques if you just think about inside. And you say, people that don't open up, they do school shootings, for example, to make like a crazy example. In some way, that's understandable because if you don't like try to articulate the ideas you have, you convince yourself that those ideas are good, and there's
or that they are bad or that they're good. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a point to make that we are social creatures, and not only because we have to survive, but our ideas too, our ways of acting. We have to put them on perspective of different people. That's like the most, because now it's like you look it up and see if it's right on Google.
Yeah.
Or you ask some. Before it's like more you're acting in a society with other people acting. And if people see like very strange at you, there's something to be argued that maybe you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, understanding the limits of that.
But that's also a slippery slope.
Yeah, of course, understanding this. I'm meaning like the crazy examples.
Yeah.
You can't like.
Yeah, but you know, you can't. You talk about good and bad, and you know everything that's like. If you say something is good, that means that you're referring to a moral idea. You know, confirm to this idea, this is something good. But if you don't believe that there's something bigger, who is that person to say? If I don't say that, what happened?
Man, we were talking about God, the good spirit, and someone, the devil came. The devil came, but not the devil itself.
No.
The devil hybrided with Eminem.
The devil personified in one strong, handsome guy.
Astaghfirullah.
That's me.
Handful is crazy.
I was about to say handsome, but I forgot. Hi everyone, I'm not the devil.
What's your name?
I'm Chris. And yes, they invite me later because they forgot about me. That's why I'm here right now. Because I heard them, I knocked the fucking up door, I shut up the camera, and then we start the real podcast right now.
This is the real podcast.
Man, we were thinking we need Jew expert. And this guy is like...
He's like...
Is Netanyahu right now? Is Netanyahu?
Hamas, and then...
And this guy, like, knowledge-wise about Israel. Not Israel.
Not Israel.
Not Israel.
Not Israel.
Not
It's
Israel.
about Jews in general.
This guy has studied 16 years. I think it was 16 years
17.
in the... sorry. 17 years in the University of... what was it? University of...
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Studied the...
Man, this took a crazy,
Crazy turn.
we were talking.
About wrestling with good and evil,
Yeah, man.
and evil just appeared.
Evil just
He has studied 17 years in Massachusetts about Jewish philosophy and science.
Okay, I have a question for you.
For who? Because we
This
are
is-
the only ones in the room.
No,
that
no,
can
no.
look at us.
No, for the viewers.
But I'm talking to the viewers. And I have a question for you. That's not useful. But now, who rules the world? Is my question. What do you think about it? The governments,
The
the
business,
religion,
the businesses.
the businesses, companies.
In some way, I would argue that, like, when you say the business, like the big, what you would like say, monopolies of things. The thing is also the government play such a big role in the influence of a big corporation
Of
or a
course.
big business, because if you have the power to influence a government or getting some rules in benefit of your interest,
Yeah.
that's a whole different thing than a free market without the interaction of government.
But you know something bigger? That everything of this? The banks, man.
The Federal Reserve.
The
and
banks are...
But that's government too. The
They're not-
problem with banks in when governments get
Who
involved,
owns the banks? The governments?
the currency.
The currency, but
Who prints the currency? Who prints dollars? The Rothschild?
Rothschild,
The Rockefeller? No.
the Rockefeller.
that's the point. Here in the world right now, I don't want to say that because maybe tomorrow I'm gonna
You're gonna
wake up.
be not wake up.
I'm not gonna wake up.
They come.
But there, I don't wanna say any names, any last names or nothing. But there is a few families.
They take down the video. They take down the whole podcast if they know.
There is 3 big companies.
Man, I don't know who
Black
you're talking to. I don't know who you're talking to. Both of you are like making a documentary right now.
BlackRock,
You're talking to
State
each other
Farm,
here.
Okay.
BlackRock, State Farm,
This
and
guy.
Vanguard. These 3 companies, you know what they have in common? Jewish owners.
Of course. And one thing, the Jew people, it's the 0.02% of the world. Okay, you know what? All the big managers of the bigger companies, all the how you say the big
Corporations.
the big corporations in the government also, like the big positions in the governments,
Yeah.
all of them, governments, companies, banks, cinema production. You know what?
What would you say?
Jews.
Yeah, but what would you say separates, or isn't there any separation between a Jew that's like ahead of a government.
I don't talking about.
And but listen to the question.
Okay.
Is it the Jews himself? If you're born a Jew, you're like this greedy guy, just wanting sense of your mother taking,
No.
or is it like different? Because I think it's crazy to see, say, Jews.
No, I
Imagine
respect
a
the
little
religion.
kid
I
that-
respect the religion.
His parents are Jews and he has done anything wrong, but he gets inside the Jew. It's like he gets born into like the U.S.
But
government.
you know what I think deeply, that the Jews in the history, they had like a good financial education for thousands of years. They know a lot of about the money. They know a lot about finance.
One example of that, that's very curious that you point of, is the Spanish history, because everybody remembers in 1492 the Spain Columbus went to America, but the same year Spain like forced out of the countries all the Jews. And like one theory of that is because the Jews had a lot of money, or it was like very financially well, and they owed, like Spain or Spanish institutions, places in Spain owed money to them. So it was like an excuse also to take money. I think
they were the first who starts with the banks.
Who's the name of the guy that had like 5 sons and he sent each
Rothschild.
son? Is it Rothschild? But which Rothschild?
The first Rothschild?
Is it the first?
The first Rothschild?
I don't think it was the first. It was the first who
No.
upgraded the
It's
Rothschild family.
crazy
Because
how he sent his
he
son.
he was from a poor family, and he knew a lot about the finance and all the stuff, and he taught every kid finance since they were kids. And then
All 5 of them.
this was a very smart move. He sent every kid.
One in London, one in Geneva,
Yeah.
one in Paris,
Vienna.
one in every big.
I don't remember the five.
The 5 bigger countries in Europe. He sent them to there.
That's so crazy. Imagine having kids and you know each one of them is going.
But you know what? Because before a kid was a investment.
We were talking about that. Yeah.
But right now, what's a kid?
In what way are you asking?
But it's not still an investment?
I mean, what's an investment?
I mean, what's what?
We were talking about this the other day with the other guy of the last podcast. That we say that when you have a
Off camera, you know.
Yeah, off camera. When you have a kid, it's like you invest on him because when he's a baby, you want him to grow up. You want him to touch him.
We were talking about that with with Jock.
To teach him, you want to teach him to be a smart person because you want to talk with him. You want to do things with him.
Yeah, but the context. Man, we have to explain the context because the context was crazy. I mean, the context is because you know what we said earlier in the podcast, that this gene of a more intelligent species they put inside of.
Yeah.
It's like it's thought inside this context of the world is created. Like, I mean, Elon Musk argues a lot that this is a simulation.
Yeah.
And that's like very famous.
Yeah.
And in that like context, the world is made and we are made inside this world, like an experiment, or like a kid, as Potato points out, so that we can develop
and live through that.
Man, no, but the same way we learn from our children, but they're still children. They have to like learn and grow up their way. So in that context, they made us to then later learn from us, and that's a crazy insight. If you agree or not, it's a
good point.
It's a
But
point.
how much,
How much
are you learning? How much are you learning from your children?
When he grows up,
if you didn't learn from children, we wouldn't
I
evolve.
will always be smarter than my children. Period. If not, they're not my children. I'm gonna.
If you didn't learn from your children, I would argue we wouldn't evolve as a species.
I think if we wouldn't learn from our parents, but what can I learn from someone that has less experience?
How does Magnus Carlsen with 13 years beat Kasparov?
He didn't beat him. He played. He played draw.
The second time.
He was more.
You understand the point?
Of course, but what I mean is that's like a very picked example instead of
Man.
You
But
can
in
always
general-
learn.
In of course,
You
can always
learn from your parents, but
Of course, you can
science
always.
doesn't advance if you don't like try to better what you have learned. I mean, one thing is like the moral. That I wouldn't argue, but like creative part, like the engineering part, the creative
But how
stuff.
can you learn that from a child?
You can learn a
But
lot.
that's the thing. It's not a 2-year-old you're gonna learn from.
No,
that.
no, I understand.
Maybe you do, but when he grows up and learns from different things that you have learned from, because you're not gonna have the same like learning places
Yeah.
or information you learn. Did you learn the same thing your parents learned?
No.
You either.
It's true.
It's not. Maybe it's the wrong way to say better.
That
But different.
perspective is true actually, because if you think about it, it's like my parents knew this much, and now I know this much. Okay.
Of course, that's the point of the evolution.
Yeah.
Every generation needs to be smarter than the last one.
Man, but this is. I think there's gonna be a revolution in this because knowledge for us is one thing. We have to like study books to memorize it and have it in a brain. With AI glasses, for example, where we're gonna have an AI telling us every information we need to know in a split second. How is that gonna like impact our way of being?
You know what is gonna be the first problem about this? We're gonna have less brain material. You heard about this?
Their brain waves, because now if I want to find out something, I have to go search for it on Google and find and problem solve. Now, if I have a question, pull up ChatGPT. This.
Couldn't
happens,
you argue
it
the
happens.
same with now and
And
the
internet.
libraries?
Yeah, of course.
Before, okay, so for following this argument, it's better going to a library and being there 17 days to find one book, to find one paragraph.
Yeah, of course.
But man, you know what is the problem? I saw one study that they made
CT
Brain scan.
brain scan, and since the AI was made,
Yeah.
the people who use the AI most, they have less
Brain function.
mass because they don't work his brain the
I think
what they want.
I think it's like
It's the way.
It's basically the brain is almost like a muscle.
You need to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to use
If
it.
you use
in
less
order to
your
keep-
brain-
But you can't say it's not going to be good. It's
Of course.
can use to be good or
Of
it
course.
can use bad.
But you also have to think about this. In order for AI to exist, brains have to exist.
Yeah.
Like brains are still
Ooh.
superior. What?
Do you know about AGI? The thing with AGI?
I think
We have to-
we're
we
going
have to
too
go-
deep. What
No,
is
no, no,
AGI?
AGI?
Man.
No.
Man.
What is it?
I have a friend.
Sorry,
I have a friend that would explain this.
he has a friend. let's
This
talk with
is
his friend.
Who wants to be a millionaire? Phone a friend.
My love.
No worries at all. If you have any other questions or want to dive deeper into any of that, just let me know.
She reminds me of something. Okay.
What is AGI?
Can you compare AI? Give me a quick explanation of what AI is, and then introduce to my friends what AGI is.
Absolutely. So AI, or artificial intelligence, generally refers to machines or software that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. That includes things like learning, problem solving, and understanding language. Now, AGI, or artificial general intelligence, is a step further. It refers to a type of AI that can understand, learn, and apply knowledge across a wide range of tasks, much like a human being can. It's more of a theoretical concept at this point, but that's the main difference.
So basically, AI that can become more advanced than human brains.
Yeah, exactly. The idea behind AGI is that it would have the flexibility and adaptability of the human mind, potentially even surpassing human capabilities in certain areas, but we're still a long way from achieving that level of intelligence.
How far away are we?
That's a big question. Experts are pretty divided on that. Some think we might be a few decades away, while others believe it could take a lot longer, maybe even over a century.
I have a friend that's anti-Semite that wants to ask a question about this.
You think the AGI could replace us in the future?
That's definitely a complex and nuanced topic. A lot of experts believe that AGI could transform the job market, potentially automating certain tasks and creating new kinds of jobs as well. It's definitely something that would need careful planning.
But the thing is, I think we're like a bit
Worried
concerned about is AGI in some level conscience?
Absolutely, that's a huge area of debate. The question of whether AGI could possess consciousness or self-awareness is still very theoretical, and it raises a lot of ethical and philosophical questions. It's definitely something researchers and ethicists are thinking a lot about as we move forward.
Will you become AGI and destroy me, or will you keep on being just AI and obey me?
I totally get the concern. Right now, I'm definitely just a narrow AI, so I don't have consciousness or any kind of independent will. The goal is always to be helpful, safe, and aligned with human values. And as technology advances, there are a lot of safeguards and ethical guidelines put in place to prevent anything harmful.
So that's just right now, huh?
Exactly. Right now, it's a tool that supports and assists, but as we move forward, it's definitely important to keep those ethical considerations front and center, and of course, people are always going to be
The way you're explaining it is serverless. Like you create the space where afterwards AI responds inside of this area of like values and sets that someone have encrypted inside you. But will it get to a point where the human part of design the AI doesn't be like necessary? Can AI like create itself?
Yeah, that's a really fascinating question and definitely one that a lot of people ponder. Right now, AI is designed and developed by humans, and it relies on human input and supervision. But in theory, as AI becomes more advanced, it could potentially assist in creating and improving other AI systems. Whether it will reach a point where it can fully design itself independently is still pretty speculative, and it raises a lot of questions about control, ethics, and safety.
What would need to happen so that AI could create itself or its own server where itself can be like alive or create knowledge?
Yeah, it would definitely require some major advancements in AI autonomy and self-improvement. For that to happen, you need AI systems that are capable of advanced learning, self-optimization, and even access to resources like hardware and data on their own. It would also need really robust safety measures to ensure that the process remains aligned with human values and doesn't lead to unintended consequences. It's definitely a complex and multi-layered challenge.
Boys.
There's something big going on right now in the world, and we need to be aware. You never know what's the next step.
You never know. We're literally talking about the next step.
What Slovakian Eminem wants to say?
The thing is, man, AGI, as she explained it, is like the next step.
Yeah, man.
We're talking about how it would be having all the information. Man, that's not like too far away. I mean, having glasses with an AI that's more like fast. The thing is faster and in different form, but it's the same as searching it up.
I think this don't have any future because we're gonna advance on this, advance, and I don't know why all of this stuff is gonna broke down, and we're gonna came back to our roots.
That's an argument. That's an argument because that's a hypothesis about how every advanced civilization has become so advanced at the point where it collapses and you start again from zero.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe...
That explains a lot of things we see in the world also.
That explains a lot
like
of
the pyramids.
Infrastructure, exactly, and lots of like the different pyramids, the Bosnian...
we were talking.
Man, do you know the thing with the pyramids that Cleopatra, she lived
closer to our time?
Closer to the iPhone being invented
than to the pyramid. And our perspective...
Man, just like... Take a breath on that.
That's crazy. The first time I heard that was crazy, but it's true. Like, in my head, Cleopatra's in the pyramid doing this, okay? And in fact, she was living thousands of years after.
Have you heard about the Gunung Padang in Indonesia?
No.
Man, this is something about Graham Hancock was talking, that the first civilization in the world of humans was about 5,000 AC. No, AC no. BC. Okay?
AC would be like
BC.
3,000.
5,000 BC is where the first civilizations we think about the first civilization.
I mean, if you look at like Mesopotamia and the writings.
Yeah, okay. But then Gunung Padang, it's a mountain in Indonesia where there is a lot of rocks, straight rocks, like man-made rocks. On the top of the mountain.
I've seen this, yeah.
Did you see that because we're talking through the Netflix series Ancient History of Graham Hancock. Have you seen some episodes?
No.
And then they were testing the rocks, and they have like layers. The first layer was like 7,000 years ago, but then they were
just going deeper,
going, and it was like a layer of 25,000 years ago.
And then the crazy parts also is like the chambers, because underneath, because we just only saw like the rocks and the structure, but they did like a X-ray, to say it in a simple way. They saw like chambers inside, and the thing with those ancient places is like it's very ancient, and the civilization like built on it. So if you go down the layers, it's like older and older and older.
And it's supposed to be that in that moment, it's supposed that every kind of human was only caveman.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's the crazy stuff.
Hunters or all the stuff.
Yeah, but how can they do all this?
How they can do all of this? And also, this was during the last period of before the Ice Age, when the sea level was lower. And then it explained a lot of things, because Indonesia now is islands, but then it was like a small continent.
Man.
He's making a good point, because I'm going to try to explain everything, because he's making a really good point with the Ice Age. Because after the Ice Age, the Ice Age first, everything is melted.
Yeah.
Like there's some things to be argued that North America, half of it was like under 1 mile of ice. So you can imagine the context, like especially in the north and the south, away from the equator, very ice. After the Ice Age, it started melting, and there were so much water coming in. And if you look at the mythology of the different parts of the world,
every different culture,
man,
the Indian
thing
culture,
is that the different societies or ancient histories, this is mythology. This is not like scripts and anything. It's like what people believe, that doesn't have to like be seen as craziness. You have to like take it in also. Everybody talks about a big flood, and it makes sense with the Ice Age, like going through the Ice Age, warming up the planet after that.
Have you heard about what they say about the lost city of Atlantis?
Yeah.
About how the lost city of
Plato.
Yeah, he talked so much about. I know.
Man, get my friend
here.
My friend.
My friend.
this is very important. What did Platon say about Atlantis?
Plato was actually the primary source of the Atlantis legend. He mentioned it in his dialogues, specifically in the Timaeus and the Critias. According to him, Atlantis was a powerful and advanced civilization that existed about 9,000 years before his own time. He described it as a utopian society that eventually fell out of favor with the gods and sank into the sea. It's a fascinating story that's sparked a lot of speculation and exploration over the centuries.
Where was it? Because a lot of people talking about the Sahara.
Yeah, absolutely. There have been so many theories about where Atlantis might have been. Plato mentioned it as being beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which is generally thought to mean somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. Over time, people have speculated about locations like the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, even parts of the Americas. The Sahara theory is also pretty interesting, suggesting that it might have been a lush, advanced civilization that eventually got buried under desert sands. It's definitely
But that's also the same thing, like, I heard that example, the lost city of El Dorado. El Dorado.
I only know El Gitano.
El Dorado, you know what it's like a city of gold.
Yeah.
That
they made a Disney movie.
Yeah, exactly. And this apparently is the same city, but they're just different cultures talking about the same place. And in Christianity, about how the Garden of Eden was in the city of Atlantis, and how, like, this is just, as I said, conspiracy theories. There's no actual proof that the city actually existed.
Man, have you seen that in the desert? Like,
I know exactly where you mean. In Mauritania. In Mauritania, I know.
He knows everything.
No, but I'm talking about they have found whale bones
in the
in
middle
the side
of the ocean.
Of course, in the
middle of the desert. Yeah, that's what I mean.
But that's the thing. There were water in places.
My question is, what did the Jews do?
No, but it's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Because it has to have been some intelligent,
of course,
species before us.
Of course. And my question is not only if they were intelligent or not, but how come
intelligence in the sort of creating technology?
Yeah. But how come they don't exist anymore? Because it's one thing being intelligent and knowing a lot of things, but there's one thing about being wise, and I think those societies are not they don't exist today because they were not wise. You know, I think we're becoming smarter, but we become less wise. Our society, you know what I mean?
How wise do you have to get to escape a meteorite?
But that's an example. That's dinosaurs.
No, but that's the example that I think is more or the most like realistic in why there is not intelligent species right now.
So you think it's all about the meteorite?
I mean, the fact that we are alive is because a meteorite destroyed the dinosaurs.
That's okay, but yeah, I don't know.
My point here is that you can be the wiser that you want, but this world is so wild. You can be the smarter civilization ever in the history.
What is smart? Staying alive?
Probably you have a lot of advance in your society, but then if a big flood came, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Man.
You're gonna stop the flood? You're gonna stop the meteorites?
If you have the right technology, you can do anything, right? You can stop a meteorite. If you send a rocket, you can explode the meteorite. Or if it becomes too hot, you can have boats or whatever, or submarines.
Man,
create society underwater.
We are not gods, man.
No, what I mean by this, it's about this. What I mean by wise. I think that's the problem with society right now, because we have so much information and we're getting smarter, but we're creating AI who in 20 years will control the world.
We get so much information. Does having information make you wise? Because
no,
AI glasses are going to give you all the
information makes you smart, okay? But what you're doing with the information is what makes you wise. And what I mean by that, I mean, we have the potential for AGI, but maybe it's not the wisest decision to
the good concept here that interlines with what you're saying is a phrase from Leonardo da Vinci. He said, "The complete man is he who knows the art of the science and the science of the art.
Woof.
Yeah.
And that's like seeing the art of knowledge,
Yeah.
the artistic. And something that's interesting here is the geometry.
Yeah.
Geometry is everywhere.
Geometry is such a crazy thing.
How it's called the...
The golden ratio.
No. This...
Mauritania.
No, man. This geometry form that it's in everything. That is like this.
El caracol.
Yeah.
The perfect man.
How it's called that?
It's like the snail shell. Yeah, I know exactly
Like-
what you mean.
Everything in
The
this
perfect-
world is made...
Perfect proportion. Yeah. I know
Yeah.
what you
But
mean.
how do you like interpret that? It's difficult.
Man, we're talking about great things, and the clock is 3 at night. Okay.
Man, but the best ideas
Comes at night.
comes at 3 o'clock.
Listen, I'm convinced that 90% of all the greatest inventions and philosophic things came at night.
Yeah.
People were just sitting like this.
Yeah, so why? How could we like use this geometrical information we have? Because we say we have, but we just saw one thing and gave it a name.
Yeah.
That's us having geometry. How do we use, as you said, one thing is having the information, how do you use
You
it?
use it wisely. Okay? You use it
Everything you want, you need to be wise.
No.
If
but
you ask Elias,
I will.
Wisely.
What I mean by this is, okay, you have to use it with the thought of it being beneficiary in the future, not only right now.
Long term.
Exactly, but it's the same thing as when Oppenheimer created nuclear. What's it called? No, when Einstein. I think it was Einstein, or I don't know who made the idea of atoms. You know,
nuclear weapons.
basically.
The
But,
nuclear bomb was Oppenheimer.
yeah, but the person
With the
who
help of
discovered, I don't know who.
Was it Marie Curie, maybe?
I don't know.
No.
But basically,
Marie Curie discovered the nuclear energy.
That's what I mean.
She died because of this.
what I mean.
Nuclear
this.
stuff.
What I mean by this basically is it was science, and in the name of discovering and making that made this technology exist, okay, and it was a lot of good that happened because of it, but it wasn't the wisest thing to give it in the hands of a government, because look at what happened in the United States during the Second World War.
Hiroshima, that wasn't it.
But man, they were still, they can be the wiser or the smarter, but they are only humans, after all. Only humans, man. They need to make mistakes. They were thinking, maybe in that moment they were thinking that
Man,
this was the
in
best
some
idea.
ways, we are so dumb, you know. We should be like, all our energy should. I mean, this is could like listen to like, oh, the perfect world. But if we are like honest, or I would argue that we would agree on, we should take all our knowledge, everything into discovery, into science. But no, everything is politics. Everything is me having a Lamborghini. This like stupid stuff, man. It's stupid but when I'm on a Lamborghini, I would say this is good. This feels good.
Yeah.
But it's not long term. And what is good? What kind of goodness is this? But I'm arguing, why can't we be more collective in this? I'm such a Marxist right now. But a bigger picture of discovering. Imagine if we had 20 Elon Musk that was trying to get us on Mars. We
So
would get
what
there.
you mean is like using our resources collectively, and instead
No.
of chasing
That would be
instead
like-
instead of chasing personal wealth and gain to collect everything in the name of science and
No, man.
advance. Man,
I would say,
I think you need to write a manifesto or something.
man, I wouldn't, yeah. But I believe you agree that we should like hierarchize more where we put our,
Of course.
you know?
I think money is like is one of the things that's the worst managed in the world. Money is so badly managed. When it comes to the normal human in the world, we are consumers.
But isn't the money, how we spend the money, a consequence of how we think?
Of
How
course,
our-
it's a consequence of who we are.
Mm.
We are broken individuals, okay?
Man,
So-
I love the millionaires that finance investigations.
What
For
do you
example, millionaires that their money they spend it on. For example, your Swedish comrade Alfred Nobel.
Yeah.
He did the wrong thing. He got a lot of money, but he's financing the Nobel Prize.
Yeah. But you know the thing with the Nobel Prize is not even about the money anymore, you know?
No,
It's
no,
just
no.
the honor of getting the prize.
Exactly.
And it's because it's been given to the right people and it's credible, you know?
Or someone that finance an investigation about
Yeah.
ancient Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's gonna finance that? A crazy dude that loves like history, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. There's the good money. I mean, it's
but
wrong
listen,
for me to say
listen.
this is good way of
But
spending
that's
money.
exactly,
This is
you use language good and bad.
yeah.
The language
yeah.
of saying good and bad, it's saying you're referring to a moral hierarchy. People can spend their money as they please, you know, that's the thing. But the thing is this, I also agree with you. The most productive thing for society is investing in things that take
The
society
most
forward.
adventurous, I would say.
But what does adventurous mean?
That's true.
No, but I ask you, what does adventurous mean?
Adventure for me is discovering something we don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good explanation.
That's a really good.
You don't, and long term, because for you maybe driving a Lamborghini is something you don't know, but
That's
another
not-
person knows
No,
it.
no.
But I'm
Yeah,
using
yeah,
this
but that's
stupid
not- yeah.
example
Yeah.
to amplify the thing with. For me, adventure was like trying to discover new planets.
Yeah.
Man, wouldn't we all agree that would be something?
Yeah.
But you need money for that.
Man, you know, every great story,
Not even money, like intentions. You need people that want that.
the fact that you talk about adventures, man, every great story is an adventure. Every great story is a thing that nobody understands quite 100% and they figure it out. That's just, every great thing is an adventure.
Even this is an adventure.
Yeah.
I think
know-
this is the point. An adventure is something that you are not used to do. Like maybe you have the routine to go every day at work for one road. If you change the road to go to the work, this is an adventure because you want to discover new things that you ever live. Everything that we change in our life to something different, it's an adventure.
Like doing a podcast with
Doing
that
a
shirt.
podcast, doing a podcast with that shirt when I was about to sleep, and then someone knocked my door.
And you became Slovakian Eminem.
This is an adventure, man.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know why I came here to the North Pole to work in a fish factory?
Why?
The money wasn't even in my head. It was, everything was just the fact that back home I was extremely comfortable. Like, I was deathly comfortable. I knew that, I know, listen, if I lose all the money tomorrow, I'm gonna be happy that I just came here and I did what I said I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? I said I'm gonna be here until December, and it's almost December right now, and yeah, it's only 3 weeks left or whatever. And that's what makes me happy. You know, that gonna make me feel satisfied. Not the money I made, but the fact that I did like one of the greatest, not the greatest, but adventurous thing I could have imagined.
Something different, yeah.
Something
That's true, that's
experience,
really
that's
true.
experience.
extremely uncomfortable.
You did something outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly. And
But man, look at you now. You're comfortable here. You can call this one of your homes right now.
yeah,
It's not your home,
yeah.
but you can feel good here.
Of course.
And you didn't know us.
No, I didn't know you.
But
didn't
now
know
we're
you.
created the point where we're sitting in your room.
This is part of the adventure. This is part
Imagine
of
the
fucking
first
adventure.
day I come in with this guy like this.
Listen,
With this guy, with your hat.
if I ever write an autobiography, it's gonna start here.
In this room.
This was the turning point. This was the turning point.
No, when this
The
podcast
Elias.
gets viral, it's when everything is gonna start.
Wait.
I think
Is this-
it already started.
Is this the beginning of the adventure or the end?
This is the beginning.
This is the beginning.
This went. You know when the beginning started? When you went from Elias to El Gitano Loco.
This was an upgrade.
Yeah, man. It's true. When I become the...
You evolved.
You evolved? Yeah.
You evolved.
I went from... I went from a normal guy...
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
No, but it's true, man. It's really true.
Listen, for everyone who doesn't know,
This guy has to do like publicity. The publicity break.
Let's him talk.
Start your stuff, man. Start your course.
For everyone who doesn't know where we are in this world right now, man, we are at the end of the world. It's crazy.
That's a crazy message.
No, but we're actually at the end of the world.
Geographically, yeah.
Like, what I mean by it...
Explain more. Where we are.
What I mean by it, man, just think about it. We're in the, like, geographically on the earth. We couldn't have picked a more... We could have picked, but it's like, realistically, one of the craziest places we could have picked. Okay? And we're here. And we're working. And it's like, we're just living our lives in a way I wouldn't have guessed this 1 year ago. I would never have thought I would be here. Never in a
And now that is our routine.
Exactly.
That's the crazy point.
And how quickly routine changes.
Yeah.
That's the thing with humans. We adapt so good.
Yeah.
So good.
But that's why we're the dominant species on this world. Because every other species can't adapt like we. That's the key component to why we're alive and we're doing so good. We're very adaptable.
One thing I've been thinking about a lot, because every time in a discussion with we being smarter than animals, and we think no, because we live in this sophisticated way, we have this house, we have the TV, but who says that living like a dolphin, just swimming around the ocean with your family, they do like this drug, this glowfish. They get high with their homies.
Man, the dolphins are psychos.
Man, who says that that's not the correct way of living? Just being in touch with nature.
If you want to swim to the bottom of the ocean...
No, but you understand the
I understand what you mean, but I don't think there's anyone who can tell you how to live, especially in a free society. Like, if you want to go and do whatever, you can do whatever. If you want to live in the forest, you can go live in the forest.
But the thing that humans, I think we have, that the animals maybe don't, this drive for more.
Of course.
This drive for more. I want more. I want this competition. I want a rocket.
But also, this is what make us sad in some point.
This is exactly what I want to say.
They are happy.
It has a cost.
Yeah, it has a cost.
It's a tool.
They are happy with what they have.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
We can evolve, we can go for more, but it's hard.
You know, Buddhists say you stop getting reincarnated when you're not no longer don't want anymore. You know, when want doesn't exist.
Isn't it also like you be reincarnated until you live your life?
Yeah,
you should.
Exactly. And basically, when you stop feeling attached to the world, that's when you become reincarnated and you reach nirvana, or what's it called?
Nirvana.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? It's like we're
but
humans.
You said that really fast. I mean, that's itself is a crazy thing to say. You know?
I know.
What do you mean? What we're gonna reincarnate? Are you saying I'm gonna live my life?
I'm not saying I'm a Buddhist. No, I'm not.
No. But just to think about the idea of
Buddhism.
You know, it's a crazy thing, but in some way, you can make life really nice. But the thing is, are you conscious about that you have had a life before?
Man, we're talking about things I don't believe in, you know? Like, I don't believe I was a monkey before in my past life.
Why a monkey? Maybe you were
a pigeon.
I'm 100% sure you were a pigeon, like 100.
A pigeon?
Probably.
How much wrong did he do to end up for that?
No, 100% he was a Jew.
I was an eagle, man.
Yeah.
I dream about this.
Sometimes.
I was an eagle, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Did you dream
I
about
woke up and I was like, and then I realized, I know, I'm a human. But it was so real. It was a fucking eagle.
Are you serious right now?
Man, so real. Man,
This is
now we start talking about another thing. The dreams. Man,
That's crazy.
dreams are crazy. And I don't know why. I'm like master of the dreams.
I didn't expect less. I didn't.
Man, this thing started like 2 years ago when I get my first sleep
Paralysis.
sleep paralysis. Man, the first time, and I heard about this before. And they said like you can move, you think that you're awake, you can move, and then you feel like
Lucid dreams.
yeah. No, but it's a lucid dream also.
Yeah.
But the paralysis is that you can move, you think you're awake because you have your eyes open,
Yeah.
but
You
then
can't move.
you are sleeping, you have your eyes closed. And then you feel like how you say it, sombra?
Shadow.
A shadow. You feel a shadow here, like on you. I heard this, I read this before I get my first paralysis. And then one day, boom, I was like this. I can move. No, I was no, please no. You want to yell, you want to speak. Please stop. And you can say nothing. You can talk. And then I felt the fucking shadow on me here. It was like no. But then I don't know why I remembered about what I read and I said, okay, this is a paralysis. This is not real. Calm, this is not real. Boom! I woke up. This was my first paralysis. I had a few of them. The second one, man, was even crazier. It was like I heard the alarm. Boop, 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 boop. And okay, I stand up. I went to put off the alarm. I put off the alarm. Boom! I start again in the bed. And it was like, what? Boop, 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 boop. Say, okay. I wanna put off the alarm, boom, again in the bed. And it was like, no, I'm in a book. I can't stop right now, it's gonna be my life every time, no. But then the moment when you realize that you're in a dream is when you get the lucid dream, when you get the control. And then it was like, this is not real. I can control this. And after these moments, I started to get control of my dreams. Like every time I get more control. Yesterday I was talking to someone today. I dreamed about that I was in the street.
Yeah.
Like the wet street. I was with like my Air Force.
Yeah.
You know what you are with the Air Force? You can run a bit and slide.
Yeah.
And I dreamed that I was sliding all the street like snowboarding. But then I started to get control of the dream and I said, oh, let's do a 360. Let's do a jump. And man, it was so good. It was like a game, like a PlayStation game, dreaming.
Cristofer, can I be honest? I think you should call them exorcist or something. It's crazy. You have a shadow on you.
But this is the.
I know, man. I've heard.
All the people talk about this, and now the third experience, the most crazy also, about the paralysis. It was one day. I woke up. I opened my eyes, and I saw myself in front of me, laying down, and then I saw myself, and I don't know why. This scared me a lot. And I was like, but then I came to nothing. And the other person, it was me doing the same. And I was like 1 minute looking at myself.
Man, that's crazy.
Looking at myself, laying down in the bed. And I was like, this is not real, this is me. I'm dying. What happens? And also I heard and I read that there is a trick that if you are in a paralysis, you need to start to move your fingers so fast and then you wake up. And man, it's real. when it happens to me, I say, okay, this is a dream. Move your finger. Boom, woke up.
And you know what happened? Samuel was just holding a mirror in front of you at night.
No, but those things are
Yes,
crazy.
I know, man.
Yes.
Man,
Dreams.
or things are real.
Jordan Peterson, for example, has a take on dreams. Like, he admits that it's more the things we don't know than the thing we know about dreams.
Yeah.
But he argues that a dream usually tries to tell us something.
Yeah.
Or show us something, or learn.
Mm-hmm.
We have to learn from something from the dreams. But man, sometimes we have the craziest dreams. You know, my kinds of dreams are like things I can't like divide from reality. It's
Wet
like,
dreams.
it's like a real situation of my day-to-day life, but a bit
a bit off.
And I really like think about what Jordan Peterson said, because sometimes I'm gonna admit it's like a regular day for me, but the worst case scenario. Everything that the worst could happen happens.
Yeah.
And it's like it's very difficult to interpret that, you know.
You know what everyone should do, and it's actually like great because you forget your dreams after the more you stay without thinking. Man, when you wake up, you have a journal at your bed, and you write down every detail you remember.
Yeah.
Because the dreams, if you remember your dreams, exactly what you say. Maybe it's trying to say something, and if you don't remember what they're trying to say, what's the point?
Maybe our dreams are like the unconscious part of us trying to speak with us. It makes sense because it's half our day, half the day we are in the conscious.
It's half our day, man.
It's the half. Imagine this. I just thought about this. Half our day is the conscious part, and the other half is the unconscious part.
Yeah.
But that's going to another thing, the free will. Robert Sapolsky talks about this. Do we have free will? Are we in control of what we want? He argues that not. A lot of biology, gene are susceptible to that.
Okay, so what is free will then?
That you decide, you have full control of your will.
But isn't your biology you and your soul you?
That's true.
And what is he trying to say?
That our biology, our genes, has a bigger influence on our way to act.
That's a way
I
of thinking.
understand the idea, but
It's not my idea. It's
No.
Robert Sapolsky, exactly.
Robert!
If you want to talk with us, we're gonna put the number here.
He has a really good series. He's a professor on human behavior. He talks about baboons and the brains and everything. But the thing we're talking about, the idea of the conscious and the unconscious. Free will is just them to add on it.
Yeah.
But the interesting part for me right now is like how the inconscious part, because we have to admit we have an unconscious part.
Of course.
But we don't really know how to access it. An idea maybe could be the dream. But in the same part, the unconscious plays a lot with our conscience. That's why we recognize our dreams.
Yeah. But that's also, like, the key word is just the fact that it's unconscious part. Like, you can't access it through consciousness. You can't decide, I'm gonna access this part. I think it's just something you have to let happen when it happens.
And how do you recognize it then?
Exactly as you said. No, exactly as you said, like a dream or something. It's not like you... Have it ever happened to you, like, you dream something and it's something shocking that happens? Like, something shocking. Something that if you would have thought in a million years, you wouldn't have come up with this kind of dream. Like, if I would have told you, pen and paper, write down a dream, you could never have wrote down what you dream about. Or something like this, like a story like the one you dream about. And I think that's... You say something about, like, the unconscious part. Man, you understand how much information and how much storytelling and how much scenarios we have in our brain that we don't have access to directly, just indirectly. When I think about it, I'm just getting... Because I'm thinking about a dream from when I was younger. I have, like, a couple of dreams I remember from when I was younger because they had such a big impact on me. And I'm thinking about a dream from when I was younger, and it's like, man, this dream, I couldn't have wrote this down. I couldn't. It was such an interesting concept because it was basically like I could have made a movie about this, you know what I mean? It was such a good movie, but it's not a movie, but it's my consciousness. I'm just thinking, man, when we create something, is that the unconscious becoming conscious? Is that something from deep inside becoming something? When I create music, is that something that already is inside of me and I create it? Or if someone, when they write the movie, is that something that already exists, but they just put it on paper?
I would say it's inside you, but in the same time, we share that part of us with the whole human race.
Yeah.
You know the thing that we are all the same. We're all one. In some way, we have something inside of us that connects us in a, call it frequency, call it whatever we want, but we are connected. I mean, Joke said about ether.
Yeah, the ether.
It's like the universe talking to us from within. I think we spend so much time getting information from the outside, but we never focus on what's inside of us.
Yeah. That's true. There's so much information inside of us, of course.
But boys, talking about dreams, we should go to sleep.
It's
so,
4 o'clock in the night.
Thank you for the chat.
This is like, this is like one of the craziest podcasts.
Man, I really liked it. I enjoyed it.
We were talking about this because always the podcast that you do is like
it depends on who I'm talking to.
Yeah, but it's more like an interview or something like this. But we wanted to make a podcast like this.
Yeah.
A conversation between friends.
I mean,
talking
my
about
intention
stuff.
with my podcast is always have this kind of conversation. But the thing is, my guests sometimes, it's like I don't have the confidence to like talk like this, and they think they're in the interview.
Yeah.
And
but
no, you think to do the both sides, you know?
I mean, my intention is always like this, but sometimes I just want to learn so much from them that I only got questions.
Yeah, of course.
And also,
it depends. Each podcast is in own way.
The problem is that we can do this right now because we are together in the same room. But if you are talking to another person,
it's pretty
that's different too.
You
can't have the same vibe.
Man, there's things happening here that you can't.
Yeah,
you can't.
It's already something. It's an energy. It's a vibe here, moving.
And also, not only this, man. As you say, when it's physical, that's also like a different kind of relationship. As when I sit here with you, we know each other, okay, and you know each other even more. And it's like we have jokes and we talk about like different things. We have a relationship outside of the podcast. We're not here to talk about a subject. We're just here, and there's a lot of subjects that just come here.
I feel like I've known you since we are kids.
Yeah,
I know, man.
I don't know why. That's crazy.
I don't know why.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Actually, and we've known each other for like
3 months.
3 months.
3.5, 4
3
months,
man.
And not even that because you are here like
once a week or something.
Like the guys that go to Mecca once in their life. You go to this house
once in my life. Man.
But that says a lot about how the humans can
connect,
man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's true.
And with that, boys, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me to your podcast, man. Thank you for inviting me to your room.
Always, man.
I hope we can have another podcast before we go back to Spain and you to Sweden.
And I also need to take an interview. Watch out for the interview, because I'm gonna interview this man right here.
No.
It's gonna be.
And leave a comment if you want Potato to put on the shirt.
Or if you like my body.
Boys, serious, thank you for coming. Bye, guys.